We want to start by introducing our guest.
Yes. Kris, how you doing?
Doing good.
Good.
How are you?
Good, good. This podcast has been brought to you by Northeast Firearms.
Apex Media, the peak of all performance since 2023.
And Stroke and Stoke, stoking up the live well since 2023. So, for people that don't know who you are, you want to talk about what you've done and what you're doing?
Not really. It's very tough to brag about yourself.
Humble.
Truly, it really is. But okay, so I started in law enforcement in 1999. So I did the police thing for quite a few years, and back in 2017, I formulated a small company based around an invention. So
So you're former law enforcement.
Right.
When did you start doing law enforcement, and when did you stop doing law enforcement?
So 99 I started, and I'm kind of still doing it today as a part-time type of a field, waiting for things to take off before I put all my eggs in one basket. So I keep that certification because it's a bitch to get back. If you decide you want to try to get back into it after a certain time has expired, you'd have to do everything over again. And I'm talking like the poly, the psych, the certification exam. I just don't feel like doing that at all. It's saying over again.
I don't blame you.
No.
I really don't blame you.
What was the first year you went to SHOT Show?
2018.
With the Gen 1s, correct?
Yeah. So, yeah, that was fun, but Absolutely. It was also you learn so much.
Yeah.
Going forward. So let's talk about Tardigrade.
Yeah,
let's
absolutely.
talk about Tardigrade.
When did Tardigrade start?
Tardigrade started for me. I was working for Waterville PD, and I saw an article about these things called the Tardigrade. And first I thought, what a weird name. And I'd never heard it before, Tardigrade. And then you look at what it is, and it's this little 8-legged armadillo beast tank thing that you can't kill it. He lives on the outside of the space station. He'll live in volcanoes. The thing will die and resuscitate itself after like 10 years. You'd put a little water on it. It's like, it comes back to life. And I thought, what a cool name. This was back in like 2015 or something. I thought, what a cool name. That's a cool name. Someday I'm going to have a company. I'm going to call it Tardigrade. And it's going to be the best and the most awesome protected products in the world. Fast forward to like 2017, and I'm working for RCT. I'm working for RCT, and I still had that bug. I loved armor. And let me tell you a story before we get that far into it. I'll tell you a little story.
Sure.
When I was a kid, we were dirt poor, man. I mean, we lived in a house in West Old Town, right? And it was just this shitty-ass house. And I remember my dad, he worked at the mill, and he came home one day, and he had this hard hat, this black hard hat with a flashlight on it. And I was like, oh, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. And I took that and I kind of stole it from him. And I'm like 11 years old. And we had this tree house outside. And I climbed it every day. We used to climb it, and go up and play out stuff. And I just happened one day I was wearing this hard hat and I strapped it up and I'm climbing this tree and I'm shit, I fell out of the tree and I smashed my head on a rock with that hard hat on. And I'm sitting there looking at the dent in the hard hat thinking, at 11 years old, I should be dead. And I guess it was from that moment, I just had this like fascination with like armor, with armor or protective stuff.
Yeah.
So I got into looking at like knights, all these guys that would wear all this daunting stuff and they were beasts. And I just had this fascination with it. So that's where it spawned it, from this incident that happened in your life. It just took me in a whole different direction. So it's kind of cool. Didn't know that, did you?
Cool. I did not know that.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's an absolute true story too. I swear to God.
I'm
not kidding.
If he didn't know it, I definitely didn't know it.
I know that story.
No. So we get this helmet. This kid from Japan was making these helmets, and they were cool looking. They were awesome looking, and they were supposed to be a full face, full protective helmet. It was called the Ronin. So this guy came to the United States. We were going to build a small company because he's a foreign national. There's no way to sell in the military. I'm always into this face protection type of stuff. And then I kind of got one in, and I was like, you can't see much out of this thing. It's kind of itty bitty. You need to do some work on it. And he wasn't willing to do it. But by that time, I had been working on a solution to open that up. And before, the only thing you had glass, and it had to be 1.5 inches thick. To stop a 9 is ridiculous.
As
amount of weight.
EOD bomb helmet, right?
Basically, EOD bomb visors, the specs on those are equal to a combat helmet, and they're about 1.25 inches to 1.5 inches thick. So you're putting that much glass, on your face to just defeat a bullet into that mask. You'd increase the weight, and the footprint of it for the optical clarity is terrible. It's garbage.
And what was the visibility in those?
On the helmets, so take your fingers like this and put them right here. That's your visibility. Claustrophobia.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So
your peripherals 0.
In the helmets?
it wasn't 0, but it wasn't great. It felt like you were looking into a box like this.
I'd imagine anything beyond this point.
Yeah,
you don't see it.
You don't see it.
And these helmets, like, from that time, still have not changed.
Oh,
If you look them up
Yeah,
on Google,
it's-
they still have not changed.
No,
look at the M4A1.
right.
Right.
It's just, yeah, exactly.
Right.
But the thing with the helmet is it was designed to be a 3A helmet. Take a shot, but it was just not. We'll get into the helmet stuff in a little bit as far as mask and stuff, but
Right.
focusing on the glass, that's what inspired me, to build this glass. And I remember I called Nick up, and I was like, Nick, hey, you got some place we could shoot? Because I got this stuff I want to shoot. And he's like, yeah, come on over, we'll shoot it. You got a 357? He's like, yeah, get whatever you want. So I'm like, all right, let's go. So I brought all this stuff over. I'm like, let's go, let's shoot it. And we started shooting it. And I remember I was like, shoot that piece right there. And he blasted it. And it literally, we had a 1/2 inch sample. And it, bam, and it stopped it. And I still have the sample at home. And I'm like, Nick, do you know what this means? He's like, not really.
I'm like, we shot a piece of glass, Chris. What are you talking? So at the time, I wasn't informed about ballistic eyewear. Like, I wasn't informed about the EOD thickness. So when we shot this, I was like, he's like, oh my God, this is great. I'm like, I don't know what we're doing, but yeah, no, it's amazing. Where it started for you, Chris,
Yeah.
to where you are now, is quite amazing. Quite amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible. So we decided to build a 1-inch platform called the Bug, ballistic utility goggle.
That's
how
awesome.
cute is that? And I'm, hindsight, yeah, right. And we'll get into that later too. But you're looking at this thing, and it's massive. I should have brought it. The Bug was this massive goggle. And I thought it was neat because of the fact it would stop at 9mm. I'm like, nothing's ever been done like this before. This is amazing. And then you bring it to these military people. You bring it down to ONR, Office of Naval Research. You bring it down to Quantico and stuff. And these guys are just like, yeah, it's too thick. It's too big, too heavy. Spec doesn't call for it. So for 5 years, it's like yelling at a wall. Like literally, I'm yelling at a wall like, I have a T-shirt that'll stop a bullet. Yeah, I don't care. Nobody's calling for it. That's
Right.
the attitude it was. It was literally like yelling at a wall. Like, I have this technology. It's amazing. Somebody needs to listen to me. And finally, somebody did over some time. But here is some of these samples. I'll pass it to you.
Yeah.
So that's our case too. That's our case for it.
And it'll mount up with
Molly.
Yeah,
It's
it'll
all
mount right up to Molly.
All Molly spec. Yeah.
So, tell me, you can't scratch this
Nope.
without a diamond,
Correct.
and these do not fog up.
No.
They do not fog up.
No, we use a different process. The military specification calls for like a hydro dipping process, but we've actually found one. There's a few other companies that have some tech that's pretty amazing stuff. I mean, it doesn't fog. Tea kettle stuff. It's been around for a while, but it's just not in the military spec right now. That's going to change. Probably based on a procurement like this, it'll all have to change.
So, what if someone needed eye prescriptions?
Mm-hmm.
Right there.
Yeah,
Inserts.
that's an insert. Yep.
Bam. Here, check this out, bud.
Oh, it's in it right now.
Yeah.
It's in
Oh.
it right now.
Well, that's good because, I mean, I wear contacts.
Yes.
But if someone like me didn't have contacts or couldn't wear one because of some sort of stigmatism, what have you,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
That's actually in the specification. And what I did is rather than reinvent the wheel, it was like, this is already in the spec. We'll engineer around it. Because I'm not going to try to change the ballistic spec, the fogging spec, and the prescription insert. It just seemed like too much. So if it's in the spec, it's public information. I went to revision. I said, hey, may I have your CAD file? Basically, here's an NDA. We just want to use it to engineer it into our thing. And of course, they're going to be happy about that because now it's using their product into something that's going somewhere else. Something higher level or even a different classification than your regular eyewear.
It's advancement.
It's advancement. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
What stage you at? That's model
This is the Ocellus version 8.
8.
Yeah, version 8, iteration 8. And it is going to be coming off the line any day now. It should have been this month, but we ran into some mold issues, easy, not stuff that's hard or stuff that's going to stop it, but stuff we needed to fix. So
Well, this takes time. This is not an
this is
overnight
quite
thing.
this is not an overnight thing. This is a
Yeah.
massive process.
So to go back to 2017
Yeah.
to now,
yeah,
I'm surprised that this is
as far along as it is.
as far along as it is, because this is technology that has not been made before.
Correct.
No. Which version did you say this was?
It's iteration 8. So we've been through eight different versions, and we finally there's a lot to it as far as the peripheral vision, the stereoscopic vision, your uppers, your lowers, prescription lenses, anti-fog. So much thought goes into these things that you got a unit, you prototype it, and you're like, shoot, we should have that put in. But eventually you got to make the movie. You can write a script and rewrite a script for so long. Eventually you got to make the movie and
Right.
just get it done. And this is where this at. The script is good. Let's go with it and see. And she's a beauty, man. It's a beautiful piece of eyewear. It's like 5.2 ounces and stops a frag at around 2,200 feet per second. That's insane.
It's just bonkers.
Yeah.
It is bonkers. And let's take a minute to appreciate this bag.
Yeah, that is pretty hot.
Magnetic.
Yeah, magnetic
Molly.
closure, Molly verticals, so you can mount it whatever way you want it.
Bring that
This way?
bring that right up to the mic and close that thing. Open it right up, close it.
Oh,
Oh, that's crisp.
That
That's-
thing ain't not open up.
No.
no, it's on there, and what I liked about it was one hand operation. So let's say I wear it on this side of my body.
Yep.
I could simply pull like that. I could reach in, grab the thing, and there it is.
Yeah.
Damn, huh?
So the three problems that the military is having with eyewear right now
Yes.
is that they fog.
Well, they've got that semi-fixed. It's not as big of a problem as it used to be, but it's certainly with this, it's much better.
They scratch.
Scratching is a huge one. Scratching is a major one because when you will talk to any supply guy, and what they're going to tell you is the same thing. We have to issue these guys like 6 pairs, and they all fog. I'm sorry, they all scratch. So that's a major objective.
And the ballistic rating is what, 4 times more?
3.5, yeah.
3.5 times more.
Yeah.
Which
So what
Again.
we've done basically is we've married a helmet, just about married a helmet spec as far as the fragmentation. The helmet, they wear helmets in combat.
Right.
Why aren't you
Yeah.
wearing hard hats? Are you guys doing construction? No, you're going to war, right? Okay, so you're wearing a helmet, and there's a specific standard that these helmets have because of all the crap flying around in war.
Right.
Well, why aren't your eyes to the same standard?
What you kind of need those for combat.
You need your eyes, right? But I'm saying there's no standard for it. There's here's a standard for the helmet. It'll take a 9mm, and it'll take a 17 grain frag at 2,400 feet per second. Here's your eyewear. Does 660.
That's not even close.
that doesn't even make
It's
sense.
not
Because
even
it
in the
doesn't-
same realm.
It's because it doesn't exist, or it hasn't existed before this. And like I said, if you're going to be doing construction, you should wear safety glasses and a hard hat. If you're going to war, or if I'm going to mow my lawn, I'll probably wear safety glasses. But if I'm going to go to war, I should wear a helmet and these armored eyewear.
Right. You're not going to go in wearing a bump helmet.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
You're going to go in wearing something that's going to take at least a 9mm, maybe a 40 cal, and if you're in good shape, 5.56.
Yeah. That's a hot nut to crack.
That is a hot.
Yeah, that's a hot round. But the eyewear thing, I mean, just that alone is just about putting an IED bomb visor on your face for 5.2 ounces. And I'm not saying an extra. I'm saying additional, like 0.1 ounce of what the standard is now. So it's right there. These guys are right there.
Yeah.
And this leads to other stuff too. Like this whole goggle led to a contract, a development type of a thing, which I can't really get into 100% right now, but we'll get into it. I mean, you guys can update it when we come back, and I'll share with you the progress of just exactly how cool that's coming along.
So you must be aware of the amount of eye injuries in the military.
Yes. So the study was between Afghanistan and Iraq. They did a 10-year study just focused on ocular injuries. And it was found that it was like $26 billion during that 10-year period. You say, yeah, that's anecdotally $26 billion. Okay, what is that? And believe it or not, 43% of all that was IED frag. So you're still talking 13-some billion dollars in just a bomb going off, messing up somebody's corner, or just, full globe openings.
Which that would fix.
That would stop at 100%. Yeah, eyes are, dude. The eyes are just it's the window to, you lose the vision, you lose the battle. There's so many puns we could talk about. It's such a soft tissue, to try to protect, and this is gonna solve it.
So here's another question: the glass itself, you said, will stop a frag. What about the overmolding around it?
Overmold is just overmold. It's just liquid silicone rubber. It's LSR. So this is not a ballistic thing, but if you look at the platform of the goggle, where's it going to hit?
Oh, it's going to hit in the front.
Right. So there's not much surface area that this surrounds to where it's overmolded to where it's going to matter. It's a trade-off to how you build the lens to that thing. But even then, anything they have out there, that's equally or it's about equal to what this is out there now.
Right.
That and the glass doesn't stop where the mold starts. It goes into the mold.
Right. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. That's
So-
why you can see the side panels for peripheral.
Yeah.
It goes and reaches around.
Yep.
So it's not just the front; it'll cover the sides.
Covers the sides as well.
Out towards your temple.
Correct.
Yep.
How comfy were those?
Oh, extremely, extremely.
Let's throw these over to you for a second.
Yep.
Put them on your face.
Okay. All right. Hold on a second.
You
Mission
need to try
time
those.
with the strap. So do the top one first. You might want to take your hat off, but you don't have to.
He's
It kind of goes over the top of your head. So the top one goes directly over the cranium of the head. So there you go.
Perfect.
Just like that.
Perfect. So how do those feel?
Oh, these feel great.
I'm gonna fucking steal them from you. Is what I'm gonna do because I want a pair. Oh wait, we got another one right there.
Oh, I thought you meant the ones that I'm wearing right now. I was
So-
like, you don't really want to be wearing these because they've got lenses in them right now, and
It's like buggy as hell.
yeah, it looks funny.
Yeah,
It-
you
it's
better take
junk
that off before you get a headache.
Yeah, it's like junk goggles.
So
You better take that off before you get a headache.
so the
I feel like bubbles.
how much of your vision before you take those off,
Yep.
Clay? How much of your vision is blocked right now?
So if I start here with both of my fingers, I can
The
see,
wall's kind of blocking you, but
and then I lose my fingers
It should be 210.
here.
210.
Yes, 210.
Yeah.
210 degrees.
I lose after this. I can't see my fingers. So
Which is crazy.
here,
That's nuts.
But if you wear a pair of Oakleys, this is all covered. This is, I mean, yes, you can see under and over,
Right.
but you're not going to be able to see. The visibility difference is night and day.
Yeah.
And they look
It's night and day.
badass.
Yeah, it's a weird thing that happens too with how we've done the on the actual glass configuration. When you put the sauce together, for some reason it enhances your vision just a little bit. It's like a little crisper. I don't know what it is, but we've talked about it at the place where we're actually manufacturing them, and they validate it. It's like, yeah, it's doing something funky. It's doing something weird where it's like you're almost magnifying just like 0.00 like 1% or something, but it's definitely doing it. It makes things clearer.
That's not a
Not a bad thing. It's like a marketing thing almost. It's like a selling point. It was just like an afterthought, an afterthought of what these things were.
People are
So-
like, so you're telling me I can see better with these things on?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Walker razors.
Yeah.
Like, you're telling me I can hear better with these these shooting
yeah, with
headphones
the
on?
with the hearing, the magnification. Yeah. It's like walking around with AirPod Pros in.
Old people start wearing them so they can hear their wife across the room.
Say.
What'd you say?
They got the full kit, like the insert as well for the microphone. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Man.
Ah, Clay, go ahead and put that in the center of the table.
Yeah, put it-
we gotta leave
move
that
up?
there so people can admire
Enjoy.
that. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
By the way, Chris, that pair of eyewear is not leaving.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
It's like, darn it.
He's like, damn.
Darn
Yeah, you
it.
can't blame me. You can't blame me for trying. So
All right.
what do you got there?
Hindsight.
Hindsight.
Oh,
Hindsight.
these bad boys.
Did that start as a hindsight?
No, it did not. It started as a device that went on your shoe. So it's called a Pika boot, and it went on your boot. And I noticed that you just couldn't see anything with it. It was hard to manipulate because I'm a big fat bastard. So for me to even bend over and pull that thing off my shoe, it was just painful. So
That and
You're exposing your toe
You're
to peak
exposing-
corners.
yeah,
was your toe. Suppose your big toe. You've been trying-
Another thing,
Sergeant
we gotta admire this this packaging that you got going on over here.
No, it's
Packaging is sweet.
It's hot.
The QR code.
Yeah.
Check that thing out.
Yeah, that's for instructions, and then on the other side you have a used video and stuff.
Which you can find right on your website, correct?
Right.
Absolutely. It's nice.
And then show.
What the hell is the hindsight?
Yes.
Okay,
What
so
is
what
the
the hindsight is, it's a Picatinny rail mounted mirror system. So underneath you'd have a Picatinny mount. You put it there, and then you can simply pop it forward, and you have this little this mirror that you can pop around corners with. So you bring the end of the rifle up, you pop around that corner, or you can look behind you, check your 6, or you can actually stairwell with it, start popping up stairwells or down stairwells to see what the heck is there. So it's just one of those devices that's, I call it the 1-2%er. It's like going to give you that extra advantage. So the more advantages those you have, the better off you're going to be. So came out pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely.
How useful do you think that would have been when you were in the law enforcement?
Yeah, I was born in the field. That was one of those items that was just kind of like, I wish I'd had it, We were in a 2 a.m. trying to clear a Martin's warehouse down in Waterville, and it was literally pallet after pallet after. So every 10 feet you had a corner. And there's 2 of us. There's only 2 of us on at the time. Everybody else was busy. There was no other mutual aid. It was just sucked. So we had to go through this building with somebody inside who's potentially armed to try to find him. And yeah, I wish I'd had something like that. Born in the field, buddy.
Don't mean to cut you off, but how's the time looking, bud?
We have another 7 minutes.
Perfect.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. Before we have to go to break.
So when we come back from break, we will.
I just didn't want to. I didn't want to cut you off.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't be good.
No, we'll go over the other item in the bag. The other two. I have 2 more items.
What was the time frame on that? How long did that take to from start to finish?
This to develop? About 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
And what iteration is that?
This one is probably 5 deep. It wasn't as terrible as the other stuff. You get a working model. There was some flaws with the other. There's always flaws.
It was the magnets, right?
The magnets would pop out. Then you had an issue where the actual unit would actually break in half because there was we didn't fillet it correctly, and the actual length of the rod was longer than the diameter. So you had an issue where it was breakage. So we fixed that, and then the mirror itself could have popped out. So we actually fixed that by just making it so the back is the same shape now. So you have a uniform shape like this and this. So it comes in and it's all grooved, so you can actually cement it in.
Yeah.
So that's all good.
How did you fix the magnets?
Magnets were just injection molded in.
Okay.
So think of an hourglass shape. So the magnets are actually an hourglass shape. You put them in, the plastic goes, all the way around the rib.
Fills in that negative space.
So it's not going anywhere. And then the other ones we actually used instead of the magnets, because we realized 4 magnets was making this thing really tough. So we got rid of 2. Yeah, try it out. And we put these little iron grommets in instead of the magnets.
So I do have the what would be the peekaboo would be the second gen, the one that goes on your rail.
Yes. Yeah. Well, this is the.
I do have that on my rifle.
Yeah, and you've probably
this
got.
Seems way better.
It is. Yeah. You see, like right here, up on the up on the post. See how fat that post is.
Yes.
So now, remember before, if you'd hold them and you pull on, they'd snap. That ain't snapping. So, and these are injection molded, ironed, and the mirrors you can see are plugged in now, and they've got also, like I said, the glue that holds them in place a lot better. So it's just a much upgraded unit. And then I figured that if we're going to do all that, we're going to pull the trigger on those new molds, let's rename it, because the peekaboo thing is cool and it was cutesy. It really didn't kind of fit within the other line of the stuff. It was like, yeah, we got this Maxilla, we got this Ocellus. Hey, peekaboo.
We got these badass names, and in the corner is like peekaboo.
Peekaboo.
Hi, my name's Peekaboo.
Yeah, it was all right. I mean, it was cool and stuff, but I think hindsight is just a much more valid name for what the actual unit is. Wisha, woulda, coulda, before I went through that door or through that corner, popped my head around and.
Hey, learning curve, man. Yeah. We'll put this one on the center.
That's just part of the process, though.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's part of the manufacturing process.
It is. You have to. You get an idea. a lot of people think that
Right.
I have a good idea. I'm going to make millions. You're going to make shit, because you're going to come up with an idea and you're going to go out and try to convince somebody to help me build this thing. Then you're going to build it and you got to rebuild it 5 fucking times before you can actually get a nice product in there. And then you got all the naysaying people coming at you saying, well, how'd you do it? Why didn't you do it this way? Well, thank you, backyard scientist bastard. I wish I would have listened to you before I did anything.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so hard. It's very, very hard. So persistence pays off. Go ahead.
But that wouldn't have started without the physical thing in front of you. Like Gen 1, like let's go back to the eyewear.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be sitting here without Gen 1.
Exactly.
So you
and Gen 1 was ugly.
You need Gen 1.
You do.
Rome wasn't built in a day.
Listen, what's Glock on now? Gen 5?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
was the Gen 1 Glock a good Glock? Sure.
Yeah.
But
It didn't
before
have
the Gen
MOS.
1, I guarantee you they had probably 20 other prototypes of that gun before they actually said we're going to release the Glock.
Yeah.
And now they're still improving it. So there's room for improvement everywhere you go.
Right.
As long as your product is good and it's selling, you're going to get user feedback from it. And if the changes make sense and it's not too expensive, it's not going to break the bank on you, then do it.
Right.
Well, negative feedback is like almost, in my opinion, the best feedback. Because if you get negative feedback, and as long as the negative feedback makes sense,
It can be.
you
Yeah.
can change it for the people that are using it.
That's why they have audibles in football, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So go.
Is that squat? Ouch, ow. I'm so sore.
So yeah, like I said, that wouldn't sit here without Gen 1, and that hindsight wouldn't sit here without the flaws of the Peekaboo.
Correct.
So you got to be proud of the begin and start before you get to that point.
Yeah, well
Absolutely.
said. Yeah, well said. Perfect.
Yeah. And like not only that, but as you went along, you were making changes on not only where you were putting it, but how it interfaced with everything around you. And I'd imagine going forward, there's probably going to be even more iterations. Like this one mounts Picatinny. Eventually, is there a possibility for one that would go M-Lock?
It does M-Lock. You just have to buy the little mount for it.
Right.
But QC, like a QD mount or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Let's just change out that one, the backside of that mold and make it so that it's a quick connect. Whatever. You
Do
know.
you possibly think that eventually, maybe, like a aluminum frame, or do
I
you
think
that a polymer frame's good enough?
I think that has room for that. I think it could be definitely an item that's like mil spec, with a skeletonized aluminum frame base, and it could be called like the Hindsight Pro, something of that, nature. So it's a little bit more of an expensive item, but a premium mil spec item.
Well, we go back to the Magpul. So Magpul's got their polymer flip-up sights.
Yep.
Let me tell you, I've beat the absolute piss out of mine and haven't broke a single set.
Yeah.
So polymer does have its space in the mil-spec world.
Yeah.
Of course, it is a Peak or like a nylon 6.6 or a Peak.
Right.
Very strong stuff.
And
Yeah.
then they got their, excuse me, I don't
They're
remember them.
pros, which are aluminum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're a little bit more expensive, but it's for the people that like, I don't really think polymer's for me. So maybe down the road, have two different sections of Hindsight where one's a polymer, one's an aluminum or steel or something like that.
Yeah.
But again, that's down the road.
Yeah.
Down the road, you got a good piece going on for you right now, Chris.
Sure do.
I think that's a great place to stop for right now for a break.
Pause, yeah.
And then we'll come right back.
Sounds good.
All right. So we'll be right back. Oh, yeah.
We're back.
We're back.
Welcome back to
All right.
Backwoods Podcast.
Yes. Welcome back. For those of you who are just joining us or have joined us recently, we covered the Hindsight. We covered the Ocellus.
Ocellus. Yep.
Ocellus.
Yep.
And
Don't forget the bags.
well, that's part of the Ocellus.
Don't forget the bags.
Yeah.
It is kind of proprietary, but he's right. Yeah,
I'm a
let's see.
slut for bags.
These are great. They're going to be a premium product because they're kick ass.
So just out of curiosity, what's the Hindsight MSRP at, or the cost?
$59,
And the Ocellus,
$5.99
is there going to be a different weight for ballistic rated?
on the Ocellus.
Yes.
Boy, you're pushing me.
I'm pushing.
Really pushing me, right?
I like questions, man.
Well, let's put it this way. There'll be an announcement on some stuff coming out with that in
Okay.
about a little bit.
So we'll leave it to that.
Let's leave this is like the market ready product right now is this little bad boy, the Ocellus X and F.
Which, in my opinion, is perfect as it sits right there.
It is a badass looking
Making
little.
fun of me over there?
No, he said X and F, so I made an X, and then I made an F.
He was a fucking Vanna White over here.
I'm like Rain Man.
Yeah.
Rain Man.
Rain Man. Yeah,
So what else you got for us?
Okay, so let's talk about this guy. So I had this. I just went to a Connecticut SWAT event. There was a SWAT competition down in Connecticut, over near Windsor, East Granby, and I had all this stuff on the table, and everybody come up and they'd be like, "Dude, I love that," or "Dude, I love that," or "Dude, I love this," and this was on the table, and it got people to come over, and there was a lot of guys that come up and start laughing, and then be like, "Wait a minute, this actually makes a lot of sense." And of course, it makes sense. Put it on your damn head. They put it on their head, and it was perfect. I'm like, "Does it feel heavy?" Like, "This don't feel heavy at all." And then I showed them what it was going to look like, and it's got an actual visor system based on the same glass technology as that. So it was the Maxilla, and the Maxilla is a 3A mask. So this was our first prototype of a 3A mask, and we actually shot it, and it took it. It was just there was some issues that we had to fix, if you remember.
Yeah, I do.
Was there any deformation?
Negative.
None.
None.
It just
None.
So the thing with this is it bounces right off. It'll bounce off your face. So it's like being struck with a hockey puck being a goaltender, like 100-mile-an-hour puck hitting you in the face.
Shake it off. Shake it off.
it just rattles you a little
it does
bit.
feel a little heavy. That's about 4 pounds right there. But when you put it on, and what I always said is when you put it on, it's like you're putting it on like a catcher would in baseball, like a catcher in baseball. So
Yeah.
you're just going to like put it here.
Yeah.
You're going to, bam.
Quick.
I'm ready to go. I should get a voice box for it too, right? With the license registration, or I'm going to kill you. But it's balanced perfectly. It's balanced like almost perfectly to my face. The only thing, the changes of this are going to be that middle part, where we get rid of this middle part and we actually put a visor system right over it. And now you have this complete vision. But visibility is excellent. Breathing is excellent. Comfort, amazing. All of it.
I was going to say, it doesn't look uncomfortable at all.
What is it rated for?
3A.
3A. So for people that don't understand 3A.
Let's explain 3A. So NIJ has a National Institute of Justice which regulates basically ballistic threats. So this is funny because a lot of guys coming up that were kind of like, haha, they got it afterwards because I said basically in the 80s, they were telling you to wear a Kevlar vest, and they said nobody's going to wear that; it's too heavy. Yeah. So now we're wearing like level 3+ plates.
Right.
At least SAPI plates that are 3+. So the distinction is that this is the evolution of law enforcement. This is absolutely the evolution because when we train to fight or when we train to shoot, we're training for the T-box. Okay, so it's head, this area, right?
The kill zone.
So if I'm going into an active shooter, the thing to protect is my T-box.
Is the key.
Right?
Is kill
I don't
zone.
care if I get shot in the arm, that's survivable. Leg, survivable. This stuff's survivable. But your T-box, where we train to shoot to kill, is the same place that I want to protect when I'm going into a situation.
They're not aiming for your leg. If they hit your leg,
No, that's a
But
myth.
that-
That's a
but-
complete myth.
yeah.
Like, why didn't you shoot him in the leg? Lady, I'm not that good of a shot to begin with. I mean, we're just thinking some dynamics and moving stuff going
Right.
on. It's crazy.
the
When you-
biggest zone is.
But
the
I think
body.
this is definitely an evolutionary step in law enforcement for sure. And like I said, it all goes back to that helmet we were talking about earlier. And the difference being that the back face, and you hit it right on the head, back face. Why is that important? It's important because you don't want that thing punching through and just blasting, hitting you and breaking your jaw.
Because it might hold 45, but
Right.
what it does on the backside is most important.
Is very much so. And in the helmets they have it's like a 22 millimeter acceptability rating for a pass fail, but this is 0. So you're actually taking a bullet to the face and mitigating that energy and surviving. I mean, a face shot with relatively, I think, low weight as far as the trade off.
Now, I took physics 1 and 2 in high school,
Sure.
so my understanding of physics is very limited.
Okay.
But I do remember things about elastic and inelastic collisions. So that round, when it hits the maxilla, it's hitting it, it's mushing, and then it's skipping off.
Right. So there's like with a car crash, there's an impulse. It's called an impulse, which is the transfer. It's the moment of transfer of where equilibrium, the energy is basically equal. So two cars come together, they crash. Boom. At a certain point, it's called an impulse because everything's transferring, and then they go their separate ways.
Right.
When a bullet hits this mask, what it's doing is it's coming in and it's hitting that mask. Boom, the mask is not giving.
Right.
There is no give to it. It's like, I'm not giving you any room. You're not going through me. You're just going to destroy yourself. So then there's pushback on the surface area to push the whole thing back, you know? And microscopically, you could probably see these things all like pushing in and shifting and be very interesting to see. But it gets hit, and then it molts that thing, and it just evaporates. It just turns into pieces.
Yeah.
The smallest.
Either that, or if it's a deflection hit, it'll hit and then deflect off. But then it's going to lose velocity. So even if you were wearing it, hopefully the guy behind you was wearing it, because it hits you, and it actually tumbles. It would tumble around off the mask and come out, and then it's just a distorted piece of crap. And if it hits somebody, it may not even do anything as far as damage or penetration.
I was going to say the chances of penetration are drastically lowered.
Drastically, yeah, definitely.
The smaller object's going to lose.
Yeah. Well, not necessarily. I mean, a piece of sand that's going the speed of light could destroy a train. You know.
So Clay again. That's fair. Clay again. If you want to put that on.
Yeah.
Clay.
Yes.
You're the test dummy.
I'll be your model.
Nick doesn't want to mess his hair up, man.
Oh. Be careful. I'm bigger than you.
Okay. But I'm fatter.
Fatter.
I don't know if the hat.
That's fine.
Well, okay.
Look at that. That's a thing of beauty.
So it weighs. Again, how many?
3.5.
Three and a half?
That's 3.5. Yeah.
3.5 pounds.
Yeah. And it's counterbalance.
So 3.5 pounds is quite a bit of weight to put on your head. With that being said, does it feel like a lot?
I mean, I know it's there, but it doesn't feel much heavier, because I played baseball when I was young. It doesn't feel much more different than a catcher's helmet. The only difference is catcher's helmets, they aren't counterbalanced, so they wouldn't have this piece
Right. They're connected to the helmet.
in the back here. So yeah, it would just rest on top of their helmet.
Yeah.
So that back piece, does that back piece have a purpose to it too?
When you have it all adjusted, the point of it is to protect the axis of your neck. So when you put that on and you put an actual ACH helmet on over it, now you're protecting the back of that axis of your neck. And, it was just a way to counterbalance it. It was kind of an afterthought to it. Like, that strap system's going to change. We actually move the straps over so it's not so cumbersome when it comes around. There's a few things that we noodled with that before we're putting it out to the market. But it's, simple.
So
Simple, effective, and the look.
makes sense.
It makes complete sense. The angles were thought out well. The breathability was thought out well. Visibility. That was really important factors. Is I want it to be comfortable. I want it to be able to breathe. I want to be able to look through the thing, and I want it to be able to work. Right. So I didn't want something that's going to be shot in the face and it's going to back face and screw you up just as bad.
Right.
So we made that's our answer to the Ronin, basically, and it's a real world helmet. A real world situation. It's not, it's like I see the thing from Toy Story. You are a toy. That's what I want to see is.
Oh, Woody?
Yeah. You have this.
Talking to Buzz?
It's like, here's the Ronin. You're a toy. And then you have this thing. I mean, seriously, that is it's a powerful and intimidating, especially when you put the visor on it. It's going to look super intimidating.
I already probably look way more intimidating than I actually am.
he's going to leave that on the whole time, I believe.
Probably not.
I could.
Yeah.
Moving on from that, displacement's everything. So as long it doesn't matter how much weight. Well, of course, to a point.
Right.
It doesn't matter how much weight you put on your head to a point, as long as you displace it properly.
Right.
So
Yeah,
with that being said, that feels really good on your head, to the point where you have it on.
It's not uncomfortable at all.
You still have it on.
Yeah.
Man, you look like a badass over there.
It does look cool. It does look cool.
It looks awesome.
With the visors that they have, they're like 3 pounds, those visors, and they stick on the front of the helmet. So there's nothing, you're taking 3 pounds in front of your face, and it's so cumbersome to wear. But with something like that, now my mandible's protected, and I can actually see through it as far as the optics, because those are wonky to look through with those. It's like looking through an aquarium with those other ones. So
fuck breaching a door, let's breach a wall. Type of shit.
Yeah, that's the rabbit helmet.
With wire charges and stuff like that. With plastic.
With your head at this point.
Oh yeah, well. Look out! I'm coming through.
Me and Chris are holding him from the legs and
Ready?
arm and going 1, 2.
You are the door ram.
You are the door ram, baby. The maxilla.
Maxilla's great. It's good
It is.
stuff.
It's awesome. Now here's my question, Chris.
Yep.
And I'll take this off so that we can put it on the table for everyone to enjoy for the rest of the podcast. Have you thought about how comms are going to interact with this, because you said you took this. You said you took this to a SWAT showing.
Yep.
And I mean, obviously, it says police on it right now. But like, have you thought about how comms are going to interface with this?
Comms are actually quite simple to solve, and there's enough room up in the mouthpiece, the mouth guard area.
Like
If you
under
look
where the
how
nose
offset-
sits?
Yeah, if you look how offset that is, basically your comms are going to come from your earpiece. For the most part, they come out of your ear from here. You know, so if you had a mic, you
Yep.
could run it up. You could run it up underneath and up through that pad, up into that mouth area that's offset to breathe.
Yep.
So it wasn't really thought out that way, but it's been addressed basically just from the creation of what we came up with.
That makes perfect sense. I just didn't know if you had already thought about. I mean, that was kind of a dumb question.
No, but it came up, like a year back, and we just ran something up through it and said it's going to take it. So we never really focused on anything fancy. You know, the main part was just getting that thing out there. So it was like, here it is, the ballistic mean mask.
And honestly, down the road, like if it becomes an issue, there's a way to.
It wasn't an issue though. If the mic
Right,
pops up
right.
in there.
Even if there was an issue, there's a way to fix that. But with that being said, that's not a dumb question at all. I'm sure, like you said, you've been asked that 100 times.
Well, this is why our military is like the mightiest, because everybody talks to everybody.
They think of all the flaws.
You know, it's like you have ground units, you know, and these other, everybody talks to everybody, and everybody's coordinated by the same. So that's what makes us very lethal.
Down to the weight.
Yeah, but I think you're seeing a switch in the soldiers now, and it's going to go to a more armored personnel, because we lose wars through attrition. You know, you lose your soldiers, you lose the war. So we're thinking that protecting them more and keeping them around a little bit longer is going to help us win a war, especially since wars, they're won on the ground. I mean, we can have bombs all day long, but you're not controlling a city with a B-2 bomber just flying overhead.
And what's perfect about this is anyone can make this shield.
Anybody can make it. You're right, 100%.
But what changes you from everyone else is that piece of glass.
It's the lensing technology. Yeah, you're 100% correct. The mask, anybody can do it. You could cut steel and fold it up and weld it shut and bolt it shut, and you got a mask. It did take a while to come up with the design. But
Right.
that's fine. But you're right. The patent on the glass that goes in the visor covers it. And why would you want that unless you're 100% protected?
Right. There's no point of wearing that because you got
now it's
3 inches on each side.
Right. I mean,
Not covered.
Right. So we just, that's you. If you want the 100% maxilla, that's us. Maxilla's trademark, so we got that covered too.
What is the glass going to be rated for level 3A too?
Yes.
It is?
Yes.
What's the thickness on that?
Half inch.
Half inch.
And what did you say that the thickness was back in the day?
4.
4 inches?
For which one? No, 4 which?
For ballistic eyewear. To do
We tested a half inch. We stopped at 9 mil at 1435 feet per second.
You talking about the EOD bomb helmet?
Yeah.
That's an inch and a half, I believe. Right?
The EOD bomb helmets are 1.25 inches to 1.5 inches thick to stop the same thing we're stopping with a half inch.
and you're doing it minus an inch.
Correct.
What do you?
No, minus 3/4 of an inch. But still, I mean, give or take. I mean, like I said, 1.5 inches to 1.25 inches, give or take. However, you come up with a solution. There's some more expensive solutions that are 1.25 inches. But 3/4 we're shaving 3/4 of an inch off from the solution.
That's
to stop.
That's less weight.
Way less.
That's less weight.
80%. Yeah.
That's less.
Well, the visibility to me is the important thing.
Right. Yeah. You have to worry about.
Optical clarity.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's less problems there,
Right.
and you're still not having problems with fogging.
No.
So, that's awesome.
It's kind of like one of these, where did this come from? Moments. It really is. It's such a step function. When you talk to all these buzzwords, blue ocean, step function, game changing, it really is. It's all of that in a bag of friggin' tricks, man. It's cool stuff. Nobody has thought outside the box on this enough to say, why didn't I think of that solution? That's so silly.
I'm so glad my business degree is paying off because I know what blue ocean means.
Yeah.
I'm so,
Damn, I feel
Buzzwords, right?
I feel left out.
How you feeling?
it just means.
Shall we talk about transgressional? No, never mind.
So, what do you think? If you don't already know, but what do you think 1.5 inches of your glass could stop?
1.5 inches. Ooh.
Up to an EOD bomb helmet thickness.
Up to an EOD, but we're definitely doing 223, or probably 308.
308.
Yep.
That is
It's insane.
fucking
It's insane.
insane.
Yeah, it's insane.
That is quite insane.
We actually did it What'd you say?
I was fingering the button, the bleep button.
Just leave it out. Just leave it out.
Yeah, I can say the word if you want. No, never.
Fuck.
No, that's not the word. Anyways, let's.
No, don't encourage that. We're getting off track.
All right, back on track. We actually shot about an inch version of it. Stop at 223, no problem.
Green tip.
Honestly, I don't remember what it was, but we've done it. We've just shot it. It was a couple years back. I've got a video of it. We can link up to it if you'd like. It shows it getting smacked, the aftermath to it, and it was like an inch of this stuff. Basically, the first half inch took care of the round. The remaining half inch was left
Completely untouched.
well, it was touched. I mean, scratched up and stuff, but it's like, yeah, I'm still here, so now I'm still protected by at least a half inch of polycarb. It's insane, man. It's insane. A rifle round. I mean, you're talking a rifle round.
Right.
So, you know, the implications for this stuff, it goes beyond like just glasses and stuff. There's some aerospace applications to it. We'll see where it goes. We'll figure it out. I think we'll figure out, you know, just exactly what spaces this stuff plays in. But
because a lot of people don't understand, like 308 is or 7.62 by 51 is a very aggressive round. But when you start getting into like M85 green tips, you're talking about a super
it's a penetrating round.
A super pissed off round. So when you're talking about penetration, you're talking about green tip every single time. So can it? The question is, it can stop 308, but can it stop green tip?
Probably green tip's a 3+ round.
Right.
It's a nasty round.
Right.
It's just such
it's gross.
high velocity, you know, lead core. It's a cutting little bitch. It just goes through shit.
It's made to go through
it is.
anything.
Yeah. So we, you know, green tip, it can be stopped. I don't know what the solution or what it is to get to there. But I know we can do it. I know we can do it.
Right.
I know we can do it better than anybody else
Right.
can do it at this moment. So.
Well, you're stopping a rifle round.
Yeah, we're stopping a rifle round
at less than what other people are stopping pistol rounds.
Oh God, yeah.
You're way ahead of the game already.
It's true. Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's not impossible.
Fun stuff. Well, okay, so what do we got? Where are we at against clock?
We've got 12 minutes.
Let's go. Okay, you ready for this one?
I'm so ready. I'm super excited. I want to see. What do you got?
This is a new one. I haven't seen this.
Ooh, can I hold it? Oh my God, you have no idea.
You are correct.
You have no fucking idea.
You are correct. I don't know what this is.
Let me explain.
Please do.
Give it back to me.
Please do.
Give it back to me. I'll explain this thing.
Now I'm the one in the dark.
Can I hold it?
I got to explain it now.
Oh, I'm sorry,
give it
but I
back.
like it so
Okay,
much.
so this was actually born on the Russell Road. Did you know that?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I was working a shift one day.
You told me about the accident.
Yeah, and there was a car had rolled over in the ditch. That sharp corner down here.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
Downward grade. So a car comes, rolls over, you know, does one of these, and then flips on its top in that ditch. That ditch is very deep. There's water running through it. I happen to be at the fairgrounds. So we got the call, somebody just behind it or whatever drove by. I'm like, whoop, get up there. And I had a little thing I called Mr. Picky. And he was a window brake and a seatbelt cut. And my partner came up, and she was much smaller than me. So I said, take that, break the window, and get her out of there. So we get the person out. And what made me think of this was I started doing some research on vehicles. And according to NHTSA, National Highway Safety Transportation Administration, about 10,000 vehicles a year go submerged in water. Did you know that? 10,000 vehicles go submerged in water.
That's incredible.
It's insane. So this little device, I call it the beset. Attacking on all fronts is the basically definition of beset. So what it is you have this window punch here. You can break out the window. You've got a seatbelt cutter here.
Okay.
It's also inside of it, you have a small little canister.
CO2 cartridge.
Nope, this filled with M2 grade oxygen, medical grade oxygen.
Oh.
Okay, so you have a medical grade oxygen stuck in there, and then you turn this bad boy up, and now you have a little button here, and you can.
Oh, so it's like an inhaler.
Take a breath of air. Boom, smash that window, cut that seatbelt. Get yourself out. Get to safety.
How many breaths can you get out of that
Depends
canister?
on the pressure of the canister. So we want to go up to about 4,000. We get about 6 breaths.
Can I hold it? So
Yes, Nick, you can hold
Oh
it.
my God, I love this thing. So I love this thing so much. So this might sound ridiculous. This might sound super fucking ridiculous.
All right, let's
so
see.
when the Peekaboo came out, it's a stupid simple design,
Right.
but it's an important design.
It's effective.
I don't want to say I was more excited about the Peekaboo than I was about the optics.
Right.
But I was damn well pretty close to even, just because it's stupid. But you peek around the corner.
It's effective.
What happens? What's the worst that's gonna happen? Your gun gets compromised. Who gives a fuck? Then we can evaluate the situation and go from there.
Right,
This
especially
thing-
if your rifle gets compromised.
Right.
You know something's. You don't go around the corner.
Go like, oh my god, it's probably a kid throwing a basketball. No.
He's
No.
throwing lead.
Yeah, he's throwing lead. So this is another invention and it's Velcro now. Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that.
Velcro, and this has got a little bit more bells and whistles to it. Like, there's actually got a battery compartment here for the flashlight, because this auto activates. So when you turn that up, it actually auto activates the flashlight. So you don't have to think about it.
Kind of like
Oh,
a firing pin
yeah.
goes through the CO2
And
card.
why there's raised lettering here is this is where your fingers are going to go. So it's engineered so your fingers go here, because that's where your finger's going to go to the button. That's where the hole is. It's natural to get up to there. Smash, cut, and then you've got light, you've got attachment points, and it's just confined spaces. Somebody needs that extra breath of oxygen. A lot of guys run out of their scuba stuff. This would be great. You take one of these down with you. You don't even have to think about it. You just go do your thing. Oh my God, I ran out of air. I need a couple breaths to get back. There it is.
Yeah, worst case Ontario, you just rip that.
I'm in an environment, chemical environment. I got chlorine leaking. You're not wearing CBAs or anything inside of a facility, but I got to run away from this stuff. It's going to kill me. It's going to exacerbate my lungs. So get the hell out.
And
Run
look
out.
how small it is.
It's tiny. It's just a dink,
look how small
little
it
dink
is.
device.
Check this out, Corey.
Yes, please.
Hold on. I'm playing with it.
You've just put a fidget toy in Nick's hands. So fidget spinners. Nick, I don't think messed with those, but this is a fidget spinner for people who are into tactical stuff.
Are you kidding me? I fucking love this.
Yeah, how many you want?
I want.
He's gonna say all of them. He's gonna.
I want 50 units.
Yeah,
I
he's-
want 50 units at least, because. All right, I gotta pass it over. Yeah. But that piece of equipment, I was super excited about when you were. What was it? 2 years ago, you were telling me about that.
A year and a half, 2 years, something.
Yeah. And I was like, I gotta be quiet about it, but I just love it. You know what I mean?
When it's always funny when he gets something that he's not supposed to talk about.
Right.
You could tell because there's a look on his face, and he'll be like, "Don't ask me that
He
question."
wants to be the kid. Yeah.
And hear me out. Hear me out. I didn't tell you about that.
No,
So,
you didn't tell me about it the last time I was at your house.
Probably not.
no.
You didn't tell me about
No.
Why would I?
it. But this is. Oh, okay, all right. I was wondering how you didn't end up accidentally pushing the button. Now I know why.
It's just a demo right now.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get it straightened out.
That's so cool, though.
So,
That's so cool.
all of your inventions are 3D printed models.
No, just that.
Well, obviously not.
This stuff's ready to go. The hindsight is 100% injection molded, ready to go. GS1 all coated up, ready to sell. The maxilla, that is actually steel, so that's actually steel
Yeah.
bend. Those goggles are actually the real glass, the real polycarb, and the real LSR overmold. So that one's the only one that's right now is kind of fake. Not fake, but it's just a prototype. Just a prototype.
Yeah. So sorry. Like it started from a 3D print.
Of course, 3D printing's awesome because you can take it from just a little bit of an idea,
Right.
3D print it, make sure it works the way you want it to, or it looks and feels the way you want it to before you move on to the next step.
Right, and then you can button everything up, make it look pretty.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
Molds are stupid expensive, but the thing with molds is you pay for them once, and then you're talking, dollars as opposed to
Cents.
dollars as opposed to
Oh. Okay.
to produce something.
Right.
So
Pennies on the dollar.
Pennies on the dollar.
Pennies on the
That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Just grab it.
Yeah. Business degree. Yeah, gotta love it.
Yeah, I don't have any degree. Stupid.
That's okay. No. You're not stupid.
I'm dumb.
You're not. No, you're not.
dumb.
Look, that.
And
that's not stupid.
But it's
That's
called
not
me
stupid.
fat.
Hey,
And this is what I
No.
this is what I was afraid about too.
what?
Is Chris, in my opinion, is like
I'm afraid of Chris too.
No, what the fuck?
He's a big guy.
I could kick Chris.
I hope you're
ass
not hungry.
right now. Let's roll.
I'm the easiest target in this room right now.
No, what I was saying is, he's super smart, super intelligent. I see your head swelling right now.
No.
But
There's a
just
brown
thinking of the
spot.
response.
You got a
Yeah.
brown spot right here.
yeah, damn. But and again, age comes with wisdom and all that bullshit and stuff. But
I don't know where it comes from. It's just I like to read a lot of stuff. I like to be interested in stuff. I failed at school.
you like to
It was
try
terrible.
stuff though.
I do. I like to. You know what it is? I like to do. I like to fail. I really don't care. I fail. Fuck it. I don't care
You
because
just
it's
took
like
the
I'm gonna-
words right out of my
That's the
mouth.
that's the
You
best
just
way to
took
learn
the
though.
words
It is.
right out of my mouth.
That-
I probably failed 95% of the shit that I've tried.
Yeah, you can't be afraid.
And probably you too.
Absolutely, 100%.
Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen
Yeah.
3, Gen 4, Gen 5, Gen 6, Gen 8.
I'll
Right.
get, I'll get it right eventually.
Yeah.
You know what do I care?
Go like, oh, it failed this time?
It doesn't matter.
Watch me, motherfucker.
It doesn't matter because
Yeah.
it's just give a solid idea, or even something you do, something you try. You know, I'd rather go out and try stuff and fail 90, like you said, 97% of the time. And I succeeded 3% of the time. You know, maybe that 3% of the time, maybe that was the one good one. Who knows? I'm good. Who knows? You don't know. You never know. But I think it's not. I think it's more observance than it is intelligence. I like to observe stuff and play with it and feel it. You know, and just see how it feels. I think there's like I can render stuff in my head, like mechanical things or plausibilities or certain things. I can look at it, and it's almost like evaluation. It's a weird thing. I can't even explain it.
Do you have photographic memory?
No, absolutely, it doesn't exist. That's a myth. Nobody has a photographic memory. Are you kidding me? I get memories crossed all the time. You know,
Yeah.
memories when I was a kid, and you're like, geez, I remember something, and it's like, and then you remember, and then you watch a VCR tape when you were a kid, and you're like, the heck, you know, that's weird.
Like, I don't remember this.
But anyways, yeah,
Yeah.
And you used to make movies too,
let's
right?
get into that next.
Yeah. So when we come back from break, because we could go to break, we'll talk about that.
Yes.
But yeah, we'll be right back. See you in a minute.
Backwoods podcast. Welcome
Yeah.
back.
Welcome back.
So let's get back into the movies. You used to make movies.
It was One Productions.
Zero End
Okay.
Productions.
Okay.
Yeah, so I started with a company. It was like Negative Images.
Okay.
Was the name of it, and then I don't know. I just changed it to Zero End, and it started with. I always thought I could make cool movies as a kid. I grew up watching HBO. You know, I was a teenager downstairs at 3 a.m. watching stupid movies, USA Up All Night, all this stuff. And I always just I love movies. I just love storytelling and how it all presented itself. And I thought I could do it. And I said, and I was always the guy kicking myself too, like no, you know, not you. You'd never do it. You'll never do it. And it just was like one day. I'm like, you know what?
Fuck it.
Fuck it, I'm gonna do it. I had this motorcycle, never rode it. It was and then it was this camera, and I met this guy in Vegas, and he worked for Channel 7. He was in my brother's wedding, and I'm talking to him, and I'm like, hey, you know, what do you know about cameras? You know, and I was like, here's a kind of a camera I'd like to get, and it did 24 frames a second. So that's the magic number we got to talk about. Is 20.
Right.
So most people didn't make movies because they didn't have that sweet magic frame rate going on. If you had a camcorder, it looked like a camcorder. You know, it looked bouncy and jiggy and all over the place. And
Sketchy.
it looked terrible. So framing, lighting, and frame rate, that was perfect. So there's a camera that did it. Sold the motorcycle for like $3,900. You want to take a gamble what the camera cost?
Don't answer. Because you know.
Okay. All right. Fine. I won't. This is my realm. We're in my
What is it
territory.
for-
The camera cost.
Hold on. Let me guess.
Okay, the motorcycle sold for $3,900. What do you suppose the camera cost?
You said 3, so I'm gonna guess 3 to 9.
How about $3,900?
You didn't let me guess.
Yeah, well, it's the same. So to me, it's like the universe is talking to me. I need to do this, you know. So
Yeah.
I wrote this script, and then I got a bunch of help, and we made it. It was called Impulse. Did you see it? Did you guys watch that one? Impulse?
No, I watched Rectified.
Rectify. Yeah,
Impulsive.
no, Impulse was awesome because I was taking what made me think of it was I was taking a class in accident reconstruction, and we were talking about cars and crashes and all this stuff, and there was that term impulse, again, kinetic energy, a transfer of energy, and I thought, what a neat twist on a name for a film because it's like an impulsive act to kill yourself. Very impulsive act. impulse also being the transfer of energy during a crash. So I'm like, let's see if we can work this into something. So I worked it into where this guy was like a professor, a mathematical nut, and then he basically wrote his own death, but he wrote it because it was what happened to his family. So there was a crash that had happened. He reconstructed it, and then killed himself as a result of it using the same crash. And if he lived through it, he was able to live peace. If he died, he died. So watch it. It's pretty cool. It's called Impulse. It won an award in Hollywood at the at a festival in Hollywood. So I thought I was really onto something. I'm like, damn, I got some skills, baby. I won a bunch of awards in Hollywood, and I wrote this stuff, and and then you just learn that you're like the Barbie doll in the G.I. Joe factory. You don't belong.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you had some well-known actors on a couple of your movies?
Yes.
What were their names?
Eric Roberts.
Yes.
He was in The Dark Knight. He was in The Expendables. And Catherine Mary Stewart.
And how many movies did you make?
I only made like 2, but then I wrote a ton. And
you did a comic, right?
I was concepting. So what I called it was kind of like concepting films, where I wasn't actually shooting a film, but I was taking live actors and we were photographing on green screen and putting them into scenes. So we were almost storyboarding, but with real people and real events. And we made like kind of graphic novels out of them.
Yeah.
To see if they'd gain any traction.
Yeah. And this is more of your realm of things, Clay.
Yeah.
How cool is this?
Okay, so let's take a step back. Let me put this in perspective for you. So when I showed up to your house for the first time,
Yeah.
and then you took me downstairs to the cave.
The cave.
The crazy cave.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah. I walked in and I had no idea what I was in for. We walked down a spiral staircase, and then the door opened. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And then you turn on
God.
another set of lights, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And then you open a door, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then another door opened, and I was like, ah. I lost my mind.
Yeah. So it's a big fucking deal.
Yeah,
is what it is.
it's wild.
It was fun. The posters you're talking about on the wall, like some of those posters we had.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you had concepts.
Yep.
You had the concept for the car for the one movie.
Extraction, yeah.
Yep.
They stole that from me. I'm going to claim that right now. They stole my movie.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, the one with Chris Hemsworth?
We'll take care of that later.
Yeah.
It's kind of a different premise.
We're getting that back.
Listen, they stole my font, and they stole the stunt guy. There was a guy that actually did stunts in that movie that was on my poster. His name's Lawrence Chavez. So he did stunts for Extraction, and he was on the photo shoot for Extraction for me. So they stole my font.
Wild.
They stole my. I'm just pissed about the font. They stole my font. And I was like, Extraction. I was like, this is what the font needs to look like. And then you look on Netflix and it says, there's Extraction. I'm like, it's my fucking font.
You give it
fucking
back.
bastards. Like, how can I prove that? Whatever.
Give it
whatever.
back.
The story is completely different, but whatever.
It's like
They didn't steal the car.
Font, dude.
They didn't steal my car.
They didn't steal your car.
Badass.
And then you showed me you had a binder.
Yes.
And then you showed me pictures out of that binder where you actually ran like simulations with the car.
Yeah.
Like you had 3D modeled simulations with that car.
Yeah.
And it looked amazing.
Yeah.
You're talking about the
varmint.
CAD of the car.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the CAD
God.
file of the car.
So
Yeah, we
again-
built it. We built the whole thing.
Yeah.
Again, like this is not my realm.
No.
This is you guys' like realm.
We're
Yeah.
nerding out.
Yeah.
Well, you're nerding out,
We're
but
nerding
it's good as fuck. Going back to the movies after this gets established, not if, but when, because this is a new technology that's taken off, regardless if you fucking want to or not.
Yeah.
You can't stop this momentum. This is a 2,000-pound ball rolling down the fucking hill. Do you think that you will go back to movies?
Why not?
Fuck it.
If I can fund it myself and I can find a distributor, who cares? I'll just do it. That's the adventure for me. It's like I have these stories. They've been vetted. I've got like 9 full screenplays just that are like ready to go.
Right.
And they've all been read. They've been read by independent readers. And some of them, these guys are just like, why isn't this a movie yet? Seriously, they're really, really engaging. So it's like, yeah, would Would I take that and transfer it into some other media? Absolutely, some other media company for sure.
So I don't understand movies as much as you two do.
Right.
So forgive me if I sound ignorant about this. Would you go through Hollywood for it? Or
Why would you? No way. Look
No,
at what
you
look,
just do
dude,
yourself.
Look at Sound of Freedom.
Do you?
Why not?
Yeah.
Look what happened to Sound of Freedom. See, what happened with Sound of Freedom is that Disney actually owned that movie and they kicked it to the curb. You know, and so these guys, Angel Studios, were able to get the rights back to that movie, and they said we want to put it. We don't want to put it out there. And then they got some backing from some, these people that were like Mel Gibson. And these guys are like, go watch this movie.
Yeah.
It's got roots. It's got some some fruit to bear.
Right.
And it just went nuts. So I think the Hollywood thing is it's going to implode.
It's too controlling.
Yeah.
So when
They have this spectrum of certain kind of movies, certain type of things. Correct me if I'm wrong, because again, I'm
No,
not.
you're right.
in
They
this-
want to push a message. They want to
Right.
push an
They
agenda.
wanna-
Yeah.
So for
right.
me, I just want to tell a good story. And we saw that with Top Gun. We saw that with Top Gun Maverick. It was a good movie. You go to the movie and it was just a good movie.
Damn good.
It didn't have any
movie.
message in it. Didn't have any bullshit that they wanted to put on you and stuff like that. It was just a great film. So
Damn
people
good
want to
movie.
see good movies.
Yeah.
That's all we want to see. So I think these movies that I have, that's all they are. I'm not trying to push a message down your throat. I'm just trying to entertain you for about an hour and a half to 2 hours of your life. That's
Yeah.
it. And we're going to do it well. Good quality, good production. That's it. That's the name of the game, guys. Really.
If there's and I don't mean to talk so much. Sorry.
No.
If there's a movie actress or actor that you'd like to meet, who would it be?
like Dead or Alive.
For me, it's Tom Cruise.
I like Tom Cruise.
I like Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I think
but,
he's
like,
decent. I think he's decent.
Who's yours?
Mine? Jeez. Who would I like to meet?
Arnold?
Yeah. Get to the chopper. Come on, Chris. Come over here. It's going to work out. No, I like it.
you how I smoke my stogie.
Who's
He's awesome.
When you think about that topic,
Yeah.
who's yours? Because
agree.
I think mine is either Tom Cruise
Yeah.
or
I like Tom Cruise. I like him.
Yeah.
But I don't get starstruck around people. People are just people. Trust me. People are just people.
So when we were in SHOT Show,
Yeah.
I don't get starstruck. But
you
when
did.
with Ashley, with Glock.
Oh, the shooter.
The competition
Yes,
shooter.
competition
and-
shooter. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. I got her fucking signature downstairs. I hang it in my gun
I
shop.
thought you had Lou Ferrigno. I thought you got a little
Yes.
starstruck with him.
Oh my
And what
God.
about the other guy, the MMA fighter there, Chuck Liddell?
Chuck Liddell.
Remember that?
I'm sorry, but Chuck Liddell is a motherfucking badass.
He's a big dude.
So Chuck Liddell. We're getting on a different topic, but Chuck,
That's all right.
Chuck Liddell, standing next to Dan Henderson, seems like a small motherfucking dude. But when we were walking into the entrance of SHOT Show and Chuck Liddell was standing right there, I looked at Chris and I go, "Oh my God, this fucking Chuck Liddell, dude!" So a bunch of people were crowding him, and I didn't want.
You didn't want to be that guy.
I respected.
Yeah.
I
He gave you an autograph. We're
right,
respectful.
Right.
We're respectful.
I respected the guy enough to not crowd him.
Yeah.
And if we had to walk away without talking to him, I was okay with that because I didn't want him to get pissed off with me because I
Right.
respected him that much.
I think he
And then-
expects it at this
And then we took a picture with him,
Yeah.
and we can cut the photo in this video too.
Yeah.
We took a picture with him, and after that, I shook his hand, and I was like, I appreciate your time and all that stuff. Just because I respect him as a fucking person, and he just seemed really irritated because he was just there to see the SHOT Show, and he was getting bombarded with a bunch of people, and I don't want to say disrespectful people, but they were just there to.
Listen,
Like,
he
yeah, and
was
I-
brought there for publicity. He knew what he was getting into. He was being paid for it.
Right.
Of course, he was there, and he looked like, I mean, shake your hand, do this. So, in that setting, I can feel that. But I think we were respectful about it.
We
just
were
went out and
super
I said,
respectful
like, may
about
we get a picture with you? He was like, yeah, come on up.
Yeah,
he was cool about
We
it.
were super respectful about it.
Yeah.
Me and you got a picture with him, and then after the fact, I looked at Chuck Liddell and I go, "Thank you for your time." He shakes my hand, and I think I saw, and I could be wrong, but I saw like almost like a relief, like yeah, no problem, man. No problem, man. Like a little bit of relief because
Commodity.
When you go and talk to someone like that, they don't mind talking to people, but they almost seem like they're crowded.
They are crowded.
And I don't understand this. And I don't understand this either.
Yeah.
But it's almost like walking through the door. You're trying to get to some place, excuse me. And it takes you 2 to 3 hours to get to that place because everyone is just like in your fucking way. And I just felt like a burden talking to him. And Kris is like, fuck it, man. Go talk to him. This might be the only chance you get.
That's exactly right.
So we get, again, we were respectful about it.
Yep.
We go up there, we get a picture. And then after the fact, I told him that I appreciate his time. And then only after we get a picture with him, and we tell him how much we appreciate it, that's when almost the relief of him goes, like, yeah, no problem, man. No problem. Because everyone's like, let's get a fucking picture. And then after the picture, they just, like, walk the fuck off. They're
not interested in the person.
Right. They don't.
Well, like I said, he's a commodity.
Yeah.
At that point, he's brought in as a commodity. So he's just a person, so he's going to feel it.
Right.
You know, he's just sitting there like all these people are just around me like I'm a fucking elephant man in the circus.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And
It's the same thing.
Yeah, and back to the Dan Henderson thing. When he stands next to Dan Henderson, he looks really small.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
When I shook his hand, I was like, dude, oh my fucking God.
Yeah, you feel how
There's a reason why he's he's a top tier MMA fighter, Nick.
Look at these fucking hands. Swallowed my fucking hands. And I'm like, yeah, you're not a small fucking dude.
No, he's a big dude.
You're not a small dude. And if he's what? Look it up.
6'3", the 6'3", I think.
No, yeah, height, but like age. I think he's what? 50. No. He's not 50. He's
older than me, younger than me.
I think he's 40, 48, 47. What is? How old is he?
So Chuck Liddell is 53 years old,
That's what I thought.
Jesus
You say he's got a little bit on me.
and he's 6'2".
I thought 6'3".
So
220, 240.
Let's see.
big man.
He's 205 pounds.
Okay, all right.
He weighs as much as I do.
No. So he fought in 205.
Oh, okay.
So he fought.
He's probably 240. Like when you see him in person.
He fought Tito Ortiz in 205, I believe, and he beat him twice. And then, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Dana White paid him to not fight anymore because
He cared about him.
Because Dana White gave a shit about him.
He didn't want him to die.
He's like, man, look, you have nothing to prove.
Yeah.
You have nothing to prove. Why you fighting? Let me pay you to not fight. And he ended up fighting for this organization. Fuck. I think it's PFL. I might be wrong. I don't know if it's PFL or one championship fighting, but he lost against Tito Ortiz really bad. But with that being said, back in the day, the Iceman was the fucking shit. That guy, and to this day, I'd rather grab a hold of you than him. I'm sorry.
I know.
I'd rather grab.
He's a beast, dude. He's an absolute beast.
Not only is he a big motherfucker, but he is God. His leg kicks are insane.
Break you.
His leg kicks are insane. But other than that, Ashley, she shoots for
Glock.
That was another one. I walked up to Ashley, and I'm like, and I don't get starstruck, like you said. Like Tom Cruise, okay, I like Tom Cruise, but I can have a conversation with him.
He's just a dude.
He's just another dude, like you said. But like when you walk up to Chuck Liddell or like Ashley from Glock or something, I don't look at it as like a Hollywood thing. Like you guys might be different because of Hollywood. I don't watch a lot of movies. I watch like a lot of like realistic shit. And again, I might sound stupid for saying this, but when I see like say Conor McGregor or Mike Chandler or Iceman Chuck Liddell, like we did. Maybe not Tito Ortiz, but but that's another story for another day. I might, and I did get starstruck because it was a realistic thing. It's not like Hollywood where it's not acted out. Like, here's your script.
Yeah.
You need to play by this script.
Yeah.
It was like, here, you go on this side of the corner.
Yeah.
You go on that side of the corner. And we're going to beat the fuck out of each other until we find out who wins.
It's like my grandpa said, dude. He said, never trust somebody that gets paid to be that gets paid to pretend to be somebody else for a living. It was a great quote.
And
That's a great quote. It is an awesome quote.
It was a great
He was a
quote.
CB in World War II.
Explain that. Explain that. What?
In what he is, what he was?
Yeah.
So my grandfather was a CB. They supply and built stuff back in World War II. So what's interesting is that my father was born in October 9th, 1943. He never met his father till he was 7. Can you imagine?
Because of CB? Because of his
because
job?
because of Korea and World War II.
Good Lord.
Can you imagine? So you're overseas, you're 7 years old, you've never met your dad.
No,
Until he comes home one day and tells you to go sleep in your own room. You know?
Oh boy.
This is these things, man. This is America back in these
Different
days,
time.
different times,
Different time.
very different times. It's crazy, but that's just an interesting quote that my old grandfather used to say.
Never trust
Never
a man.
trust a man who pretends to be somebody else for a living. Actors.
Hi.
We trust you. You're a good man.
I mean, it's not all I do.
You're a good man.
It's
No.
not. It's
No, just
And I feel like that. Why I feel like I couldn't be an actor because
Oh,
like
yeah,
I
it's
can't
fun.
just like
I acted every day. Did I fucking put a police uniform on? That's acting. I'm in costume. I'm going to things. I read lines. It's all acting. Seriously.
You got to act professional.
Dude, it's theater. You go to something, it's all theater. Because you know what? There's a predetermined outcome every time. So you get called to something as a police officer, you go and you show up in costume, right? You show up and you have dealing with them, and they ask the same stupid questions, you give the same stupid answers, you fill out the same fucking dumb paperwork, and then you move on to the next one.
Yep.
Scripted. It's
Are
all
you-
scripted. Firefighters, scripted. Policemen, scripted. Nurses, scripted. Bop, 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 down the chain. We're all just theater. The world is a stage, as opposed to EIB's best. Rush Limbaugh said the world is a stage. He was 100% right.
So you did 20 years.
20.
20
Yeah,
years.
20
correct?
years, yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
Do you? What's the best part about doing 20 years? Did you, at one point in your 20 years of law enforcement, go, you know what? Maybe this wasn't worth it.
Yeah, about 5 years into it.
5 years into
I
it.
call it the 25% rule. So you first start and it's like, I can't believe they're paying me to do this. I ride around in my car. I stop cars. I talk to people. I do my thing. I write. And then the year later, you're just like, oh man, it's kind of wearing on you. So you're 75% in. You hit the academy. You come out. You're about 50%. So by the time I was done, I was like a negative 375% into that job. It was just ridiculous.
Are
It
you
was so
happy that you
stupid.
did it?
In a way, yeah. In a
Yeah.
way, no. In a way, it's like it just seemed like a complete, not a waste of time, but a waste of my things that I probably could have been doing in my life. However, it also taught me what an education you will never get anywhere else. And I got a lot of
Real
guys.
world.
A lot of guys are going to understand this, especially a lot of guys that get 10 years on the job. They're going to be like, yeah, because you're going to see stuff that nobody else sees. You're going to be in situations that nobody else is ever involved with. So the things you get out of it, it's incredible.
Do you think you could have made?
No.
Do you think you would have been at this point in your life without it?
No way.
No way.
No way, because this is all born in the field.
Yeah.
All this stuff was born out of being and doing.
And this is why something like this couldn't come out of me, you.
Or MIT, or
and-
somebody graduate.
And
Yeah.
Because they don't have the world experience behind it.
right. And let's appreciate this too. We appreciate everyone that's served. In this
Oh, yeah.
country.
Absolutely.
There's a reason that's there.
The new line, baby. Yeah.
Thin blue line, or in the military.
Veterans,
And
yep.
Yep. Blue, red, yellow,
Doesn't matter.
all of our first responders.
And this is exactly why me and Clay couldn't design something like this because we don't see the real world aspect. And that's why the question goes back to, if you didn't do that, could you do this?
No.
And you said no.
No, there's no way.
There's no way.
No.
Because at some point in your law enforcement career, you're like, fuck, I could have used this at some point.
Yeah.
I could have used that.
Somebody could have used it.
I could have taken 45 seconds off of my clearing time if I had this.
Yeah, or not just me, but other people.
Right.
You know, you see these stories all the time. Guys getting shot, things getting, a SWAT officer shot in the face, or somebody loses their eyeball, or a corner ambush, or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
Even my own experience of a vehicle rolling over and a woman drowning. We just happened to get there in time to save her. So all of this stuff comes in from real world stuff, and it was on the job stuff. So it is absolutely stressful, 100% adrenaline. And what you don't understand from that job is that when you go into it, these effects don't hit you like immediately, right? So you say somebody with like 4 or 5 years on the job, they get to this burnout rate, and it comes quick because when you're on the job, there's a thing called hypervigilancy, all right? Always on your toes, right? Always aware, always like overstimulated, right? Then when you go home, there's an equal and opposite reaction. You crash. You crash hard. It affects your family. It affects everybody around you. So you deal with that for so long, and you don't even understand what's going on. You're just like always constantly at work, vigilant, drinking coffee, and just
this is normal.
And then you go home and you're like,
This is normal.
this is normal for me. It's not normal. So,
And this is why, again, me and Clay appreciate everything that you guys done.
oh yeah,
For the 20 years. If you guys don't do 20 years, then the time that you have put into law enforcement and the time that you put into the military, we do absolutely appreciate it. And at some point, given time, we want to give back to you guys that do this, because it's not fucking easy. It follows, and again, you can correct me if I'm wrong, it follows you home.
it does follow you home.
So we absolutely appreciate what you guys do, because what you guys fucking do, there's not enough thank yous.
There's a difference, though. I mean, like me, I am an odd person. You know that. I'm a little bit different.
Well,
than
you
the
gotta be
standard
odd.
cookie
You have
cutter
to be
type
odd
dude.
to make something like this. You have to be odd.
Yeah.
Fuck me and normal. Fuck
I'm
me
not
and normal.
normal at all. I mean, if I write scripts and I love that shit, but I do this stuff too, there's something off, there. But I think it's great because it's the experience, bringing everything out there and exploring all this stuff, and
Right.
yeah, it's pretty neat. But
So
I don't even know where I was going with that. I was going somewhere with it. I'm tracking it somewhere. I was going to be like,
do you have
segue.
any funny or kind of exotic stories from the from the law enforcement?
Law enforcement side. Woo, yeah. Let's see. Wow, I get asked that a lot, and every time somebody asks me, I get a blank, like a
There's
blank.
so many
like,
of them.
It's just there is. It happens a lot. Stuff you just like that just happened.
Right.
Unbelievable. And
Like,
that
and
just
you're like,
happened.
that's normal when you get home. But
That's
when you
not,
talk,
you write
when
it
you
down.
talk to other people,
I had a thing going on. I was documenting all this stuff, all this weird, funny stuff that was going on. Pulling from the archives. What could I pull?
and if
all
you
right.
can't think of anything,
I can think of one thing. It's about me though. It'll embarrass the shit out of me, but I don't care.
fuck it. Right.
All right. So back in like 2000 and it was 2005 because I had a kid on the way. Aiden was on the way, right?
Yeah.
And I started experiencing this weird sensation down there, and I couldn't quite finger it. It just didn't feel right. Right? So I'm like 20, whatever years old, and I go to the doctor, and I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, touches the cauliflower, and was like, just feels normal to me, man. Feels normal. So I'm like, okay. So I'm like trying to live with this, right? And like 2 days later, the fucking phone rings like 4 a.m. I get called out, and I throw on this uniform, and I go out, and it was weighing on me. I could feel it. I could feel it. I'm like, this is not right. So I get done the call, and I get home, and I zip the drawers down, and I look, and there's this one nut just fucking down here, and one's right up here. So I'm like,
Oh my fuck.
I gotta go to the hospital. I gotta go to the ER. So Isabel takes me to the ER, and I'm sitting there fretting, and I'm thinking I'm fucking dying. I'm dying. I'm never gonna see my kid. I'm dying. And the nurse comes in, and she's like, "Oh yeah, we'll get you checked out, stuff, and we'll get you over there." So they bring me down to the ultrasound area. And have you ever been in an ultrasound before?
I have.
Okay, so this woman, they had to call this woman in specifically just for this. So it was like a Sunday, and they call her in, and she didn't look too happy. She looked like in her 50s or 60s, and she comes moping in, and I'm like, fuck. Here we go. So I'm in the little Johnny. She comes up, and she lubes it all up, and I'm thinking, yeah, okay, here we go. And I feel the little, the Star Trek machine going over my ball sack. And I'm looking at the faces. I'm looking at my wife, and I'm looking at her, and then I see the ultrasound lady go, like that. And I'm like, what was that? And I look at Isabel, and she goes, so I'm like, what do you mean? What is this? What does that mean? And no, nothing. It's all good. Nothing. It's all good. It's good. So I'm like, okay. And I'm sweating at this point. I'm like sweating, We get back to the room, and I'm dying. I'm like, what did you see? What did you see? I'm trying to get Isabel. What did you see in there? What did you see? She's like, I just saw this lump. And I'm thinking, saw this lump. And I'm thinking it's just like fucking Forrest Gump. The camera rolls in, and I'm like, I'm dying. And I lost it. I'm like, I'm dying. I'm going to die. Just cut my balls off. I don't care. I just want to live. I want to see my kids. It was bad. It was rough. And then, I'm like sitting there, and the doctor goes by, and she looks in the room, and we make eye contact. She does one and takes off. So I'm thinking, this is some bad fucking news right here. This is not good. This is terrible, right? Yeah, he disappears.
Like, I don't
even want to look at the guy. I'm going to tell he's dead.
Beeline.
Jesus. So, long story short, she came in and said, oh, thank God, it's just a cyst. I didn't know how I was going to tell you if you had testicular cancer. And I'm like, I don't know how to tell you. You're going to cut that fucking shit out right now. That's what I was going to do. But holy smokes, that was a trying experience. So
with that being said, I was more talking about the law enforcement.
It was, because I was on duty.
Fair
Right?
enough. All right.
I had to call out sick for it.
Oh my gosh. We need a minute.
I'm wheezing. I'm crying. I get it. I think this is a good time
Take a break.
to take a break,
Yeah.
and we'll come back when we're not crying because we're laughing so hard. So we're gonna go to break. We'll see you later.
We're going to pull the pin.
All right. Where we left off, you had a cyst on your nut.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
Very scientific stuff. Huh?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank God.
It,
all good.
Yeah, it was just that.
It was a cyst.
Yeah, that's all. That's so.
Not a podcast. It was a cyst.
Yes.
So with that being said, do you have anything else for us? Like
All right,
that?
let's go into one more chapter. You ready for this?
Yes.
All right, so
Ready
just
for
let's
chapter two.
let's talk about how. Like I told you guys, I'm a thinker, right?
Yep.
I think, and I think a lot.
Yeah.
So you guys ever watch Skinwalker Ranch on Netflix?
Yes.
What a weird. So I'm curious as to how much of that is fabricated or just for show shocking
You're
and stuff
talking
like that.
about in Utah.
Yes.
Skinwalker Ranch, yeah.
Yep.
It was
The place
like
where this
450
weird phenomenon stuff happens, right?
It was like
Yeah.
450 acres of...
Sure.
Yeah, it was that Mr. Ballin episode that I showed you.
Let me... Sorry, I don't mean to...
Go ahead.
I don't mean to intervene, but... oh, no.
Don't touch.
Quick, put the goggles on.
Frag goggle. Frag out.
Don't let me intervene, but
All right. No, intervene. What was you gonna say?
it's when it was 450 acres.
Yeah, it was something wild like that.
Of weird stuff
This,
happening.
this coyote or wolf looking thing was hanging like cows up in the tree.
Yeah.
And if you want to get updated on what we're talking about,
You can check out. So Mr. Ballin has an episode on it, and then I believe there's a documentary on it as well. It's on Hulu and on Netflix.
Yep, it is. So,
Yep.
so what I'm talking about is like when you look at this stuff, this stuff doesn't just happen at Skinwalker Ranch. So like the cattle mutilation stuff, everybody's like, oh, cattle, and South Park's made fun of it and all this stuff, and everybody's like, well, why the fuck would some alien come down and rape a cow, just to take like its eyeballs and its liver and this stuff and then all its blood, but just leave it there, right?
Right.
Well, first of all, let's talk about why would you do that? What would be the cause for you to want to do that? And there's always like radiation after the fact too. They've measured radiation
Right,
at
yeah.
the site, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I have a weird theory that goes against transdimensional travelers unveiling the enigma of a cattle mutilation. This is nuts. Because what I think is, or when I theorize this, it's like we have inner dimensions, okay? So picture, you all play Connect 4, right? Connect 4?
Yep.
So everything that we have down to a molecular level is like Connect 4. So in other dimensions, the only thing that happens is that one little thing moves.
Yep.
So when you spread out all these other dimensions, they're all kind of interconnected, but only one little piece of that, either proton or electron, whatever, is moved to a different grid or a different particle grid. Okay. So for a traveler to come into our universe, it's a closed universe. It's a closed system, which means that you can't introduce any more matter or energy into it. Okay.
Okay.
But if I wanted to transgress into that, what would I have to do? I would have to know positional coordination, right?
Sure.
I would have to rob certain matter from something else so that I could exist in your dimension.
Sure.
Okay? So if I say, well, here's a cow, okay, it's just an animal, but it has the ingredients that I need to build my body into your dimension, then I'm going to take it. So surgically, it gets removed to build the being in our world. Boom.
Do you, with that being said,
Dude, I've written a white paper on it. Yeah, mind blown, exactly.
Okay,
I've written a white paper on it.
You obviously believe in the skinwalker.
Not necessarily the show. I think the show is the show.
But
there's certainly a effect happening, and they call it gate. And the latest theory is that there's just gates opening. And they're like, well, what does a gate have to do with a cow? That's what it has to do with a cow. Introducing organic matter at a level that you can pull resources and substances out to build your own body.
What? Okay, there's a movie that like vaguely touches on this subject. I think it was Stargate.
Yeah.
It was Stargate. So they needed
Need a host.
Yes. So what they in this movie Stargate, for those of you that haven't seen it, Anubis or Ra was the god that they were worshiping in this, and it was Sumerian Egypt, I believe.
It was the Sumerians.
Yep, and so they needed Ra needed a human host in order to exist in that in that space.
His consciousness needed. They were focused on his consciousness needing to exist.
Right.
I'm focused on physical matter.
Right.
So the dynamic matter transference principle is what I came up with for a title of this, and it's animal vitality for interdimensional passage. That's exactly what it is. So if you read the hypothesis, it's like we have a role. Dynamic matter has a role in actually interdimensional travel. Energy-rich blood tissues, rapid regenerations, storage and encoding. You have a vibrational resonance in multiverses stuff. And you can't use plants because of the lack of mobility in plants. The immobile nature of plants restricts their ability to adapt quickly to changes, which makes them less suitable for dynamic requirements for transdimensional travels. Even the metabolisms of plants is not the right, but the biological complexity of animals is rich. And a cow is just a dude sitting there that can't talk, can't communicate, and it's dead. And who cares? We eat them anyways.
Right.
So
that's, dude. I don't know if you quite grasp the magnitude of the words that just left Chris's mouth. This is.
You guys are making me feel like an idiot right now.
You're not an idiot. This is just bizarre. Like, this is wild. This is just bonkers.
It's off the chains. It's kind of a crazy theory. Some stuff, but to me it makes sense because I look for Occam's razor when I look for anything. I look for what is the simplest solution of why this is happening. And, with all the anecdotal evidence of the radiation and the mutilations, the surgical procedures, it's obviously not a chupacabra or something that's eating this thing.
Yeah.
It's something that's surgically producing this for a need.
Right.
That's the need. The need is I need your resources so that I can exist here to do whatever agenda that I have. We don't know that the agenda part of it is what we don't have. We don't know, and we probably won't know because they don't want us to know.
I don't know how you feel right now in this situation, but like the hair on my arms is standing up because I'm partially grasping the magnitude of the information that we've just been given. But
I feel like
it's something to really think about.
I haven't really thought about it at the level that you guys have. So
Well,
when you guys talk about this and the way that and the level that you guys are talking about, I'm just like speechless.
Okay.
I don't know how to respond. I don't know how to respond, and
so
most likely they don't know how to respond either.
Who?
But the people that
our audience.
audience don't know how to respond.
Probably
either
not. So let's simplify it. Let's try to simplify it to a level that a fifth grader could lose.
Okay.
Okay.
So you know how you remember in chemistry class or in physics, actually it probably would have been chem or biology. So matter cannot be created or destroyed. It can simply change form. So on a fifth grade level, you're taking from one to give to another. So it's like you take one away from two, you've got one. So there's your cow minus a liver, minus a spleen, minus whatever organ has
material.
been, and then you're giving to an entity that needs that in order to now exist. So, oh boy,
To build itself.
yeah, it's essentially building itself a body so that it can be present. Otherwise, it's like what we said we were talking about with Stargate. It's just consciousness.
So to simplify it in a little bit more of a simplicity, when they talk about like the movie about skinwalkers based out of Utah,
No, they don't know what's going on there.
How
They're
would
just
you-
trying to investigate it.
Right.
With all their instrumentation, this is what it points me to. The logical conclusion is they talk about, because the latest thing they had was it's a gate. It's got to be a gate, some sort of gate. But I'm thinking, well, if it's a gate through a different universe or to a different dimension, we have a closed universe. You cannot introduce anything more into it. So why would they be picking on a cow? To pick its resources. That's it. It's like, I'm going to build...
simplicity of getting a cow is easier than a human.
Right.
Well, yeah, because I don't even know if it's even that easy. I mean, who knows? They might use humans for it too, because they don't give a shit. But I'm just saying, a cow's just out in the field, and it's an easy picking, and maybe it just has the right resources requirements to do it with. So, it's just an interesting concept. It's something to think about. But how do these are hypotheses you can't prove. It just makes you think, like, beyond anything out there, because we have to use what we know. We can use what we know. We know we have a closed universe. It's not an open system, so you can't introduce anything to it.
Sure.
Right?
Absolutely.
There you go. It's like why time travel it can't be possible because of a closed universe. If I were to time travel back in time, I would need to know exactly where all my molecules are at that moment to bring me back to that time period. And then the grid of space, we're moving through space at like 10,000 miles a second or something, rotating, gridding. So our grid, if you took space as a complete grid, so in this time we're here, and in 20 years it's over here, and in different arrangement, where are those resources to bring me back? Who knows? It's in a plant somewhere. It's all over the place. So to actually bring that together to group my body back into that place of time, it's not going to happen. So
Damn. Jeez. Holy fuck.
All
This is a lot of information. Sorry, for you, it probably is easier. I'm kind of fucking stupid.
Nick, it's not that.
No. This
it's not
is
stupid. It's
Sorry,
just-
like when we get into the mechanics of firearms and we get into the mechanics of machinery and stuff, I can understand this better. But the realm of this is where you guys are superior, and it is what it is.
so.
It is what it is.
just-
Let's think about it in terms of firearms. So say you have two AR-15s.
Right.
One of them has a bolt carrier group in it. The other one doesn't. In order to function, AR-15 number 2,
It needs a bolt carrier.
it needs the bolt carrier group out of number 1 in order to
Or
function.
it needs to take the bolt carrier group to create a muzzle brake, so it reforms it into a muzzle brake. So it needs the metal. So it takes the metal from that and converts it to what it needs.
And this is what I was super worried, and not super worried about, but like, fuck, you can say that you're not smart,
I'm not smart.
and you can say that you're not smart, but you guys are super intelligent people. In the mechanics world, that's where I stand. In the not the logic, but
All right. Well, let's
the
switch gears.
scientific world.
Well, let's switch gears. This one you might be able to figure out. So I have a theory on gravity. Did I explain that one?
Yeah, I think, but yeah.
Off camera, yes,
Yes.
but
Okay.
not on camera.
So let's try to explain this as the way I see it, or the way I see it, because nobody has solved how gravity works. I mean, we have Einstein's theory of relativity, and we know space-time. We know that stuff works. We know that gravity is it's a side effect. Okay, it's a side effect of space-time. It's a side effect of gravity, but or a side effect of matter. So I really think about this, and then we have that I've been thinking about this for years. I finally put it into a paper, but what got me back on track was looking at that submarine that went Ocean Gate that went down in the water and blew up. Remember that?
The billionaires that went to go investigate.
And I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, well, there's my theory right there. And I'm thinking, oh, wait a minute, I can explain this now. I can explain this. So what it is you have pressure around this capsule, right?
Yep.
And it just wants to get in. It wants to equalize, right? So you have low pressure inside, high pressure outside. It just wants to get in.
Yeah.
You see it in a firearm. You see a gun underwater when it shoots. Boom. You see it slow motion. What happens?
There's expansion.
Okay, and then what happens?
And then it collapses on itself.
And then what happens?
And then it expands again.
And then it collapses. And then it goes in. Because it's like too high. Oh, too low, too high, too low, too high. Okay, I'm playing now.
Equilibrium.
So what you're getting at, what I'm getting at is that I think there's an ether. There's a substance that even when there's nothing, there's something. It's an ether. And they've said, well, the ether theory is bullshit. And I'm like, bullshit. It's bullshit because Newton believed in it because of light. He said that light has to travel, has to have a medium to travel, and that's dark energy.
Yeah.
So we have this substance that's just everywhere, like an aquarium.
Right.
Okay, we have an aquarium and we have the universe inside of it.
Sure.
Right? So anytime you drop a marble into it, it's displacing this.
Yeah.
So all matter's doing is displacing dark energy and creating gravity and creating pressures, high level and profile pressures, because pressure is an accelerating force. We know that because look at the implosion, look at the explosion, look when a nuclear bomb goes off. A nuke goes off, right?
Yep.
It collapses back in on itself.
And then it expands.
Weird, huh?
Yeah.
So we have this phenomenon in high low level pressures, which is a gravity pressure.
Just in atmosphere, not in water.
No, it's not even atmosphere. It's just matter. So what you have is a substance you can't see, smell, touch, taste, or even detect. But it's being displaced right now by matter. It's like, I'm in your way, basically, and it's pushing it out. So the planet is pushing this stuff out, giving us the 32 feet per second squared acceleration factor.
Yep.
That's what it's doing. Okay, so all matter is reacting to this displacement. It's a side effect. Gravity is a complete side effect of this phenomenon. That's all it is.
So
that's my theory.
If you were to describe gravity in one sentence, how would it be?
It's a pressure resulting from dark energy displacement by matter.
My description, which is limited to the physics class I took in high school, would be it's just negative 9.81 meters per second squared.
But that's on Earth.
Right. Yeah.
So if I'm in a black hole, it's different. So what I'm saying is that
be careful because we graduated from Skowhegan.
Yeah, but a black like take a black hole for instance. A black hole is the zero sum of all dark energy being pushed out. All of it's being squeezed out. You get a singularity. That's what happens.
Right.
So like Mars and the Earth and the Sun, we're squeezing it, but not quite to the effect of getting a black, to like totality.
Right.
Where it's all out. So the deeper just think of the water, just think of the submersible, think of that ship going down, and all it wants to do, and it's an accelerating force because you're crushing that thing based on the pressure of the water, crushing it. No different than the gravity is something we can't detect, but matter displaces it, creating that high pressure level of a force.
So
it's an interesting topic.
Now that we're on the Ocean Gate topic,
this is awesome.
How would you solve that issue? Would you counterbalance it with a liquid so it can't push in have oxygen
they've done that. They've had those. I mean, they made a movie, the Abyss.
Yeah.
Based on the helmet with the guy.
Yeah, you can breathe the water.
That is actually a real thing.
So it's already been done.
Yeah, you could actually do that, and it would work. And you probably wouldn't feel much residual effect from it at all
because
it's called equalization. So everything's equal.
There's no outside pressure.
Right. Exactly.
When you fill the canister with pressure, there's no outside pressure.
Kind of yes, kind of no. Kind of yeah. It's a weird phenomenon.
Dude, you guys are just destroying.
Here's my question. So say you were breathing the oxygen that's provided from the same fluids that were concocted in the movie The Abyss.
Right.
Say you've got some sort of a system, a closed system that'll run that.
Right. The deeper you go, the reactive it's going to get different. So,
right.
Yeah.
So and then then you've got the difference in pressures when you're rising and falling.
Yeah.
In the water, because then you get the bends. Because I think like if you surface too fast,
Yeah, nitrogen.
then the nitrogen in your blood.
So like the underwater welders, like they have to be in this pressurized tank for so long.
Well, that's
before they go
saturation
down.
diving. Saturation diving.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're down there for weeks on end. Yep.
And then they have to depressurize and come back up.
Yep.
So
And that
it takes a couple weeks.
Yeah. So if say you have that,
Yeah.
you're not going out there with just your body,
No.
because those forces are still
It's still acting upon.
right.
it.
Exactly. So knowing that, if
There's a level. There's a certain point we can get to.
if you were to apply that to the hull of the submersible, how in your evil genius mind that you have, how would you apply that information in order to
Well,
theoretically solve that problem?
I guess it really wouldn't matter, because even if you're applying it to the outside, there's still the inside, which is a low pressure density. So it's not going to matter.
Okay, that's what I would. That's okay. You just confirmed my thought.
Yeah, but at the same time, it might have helped their shell, because they were just using a carbon fiber shell. But
I don't know why they would do that.
I don't know, but I don't like to second guess other people, because I understand also the businesses have cost, they have other weird stuff going on. But I think this theory alone, it doesn't hurt Einstein's theory. It actually, in a way, is bringing everything into unity. It unifies some theories with this. It actually unifies theories as it does to oppose them. So there's way more pros of thinking about it this way than there are cons. So I'm just waiting for somebody to rip me off in this paper and claim a Nobel Peace Prize for it. Honestly, it's good stuff. Look, I'll give it to you. You can check it on over. It's
We're keeping that copy. So, fuck, this is a lot of information to take in,
This is a ton of information, buddy.
especially for someone that is not in the realm
Nick.
of
Don't worry
this.
about it. It's all good. Man.
It's a podcast, buddy.
Dude, don't worry about it. You talk. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but you guys are just like
Doesn't
This
matter.
is for education.
Yeah, but you guys are just way out of the fuck out of my world right now. You guys are just killing it right now. Damn.
He's over there looking at.
Damn.
What is this?
How long?
But you like the cattle mutilation thing, don't you?
I do. How long do you think you have invested in that piece packet over there?
In that paper?
Yeah.
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah, 4 years. It's a lot of thinking, and I want to add the effect of a firearm underwater where it implodes and because it's constantly, and a nuke itself. A nuke does the same thing. It constantly, it pushes stuff out so far that it creates such a high pressure density that it wants to just come back, but it comes back too rapidly, and then it has to explode again until it just loses that momentum. Same with the so, but that's the exact theory that I'm proposing is that this is how the universe reacts. It's just constant. It's just in a state of I'm always high pressure, low pressure because of the displacement. Like you put a marble in a closed aquarium, it's just going to pop the water out of the aquarium.
Right.
You can't introduce anything more. If you have a closed aquarium and you add something into it, it's going to displace the water and it's going to break the aquarium because of the water. You can't squeeze it. You know what I mean?
And I hope that I'm not the only person that's watching. Cool.
I hope some other smarter person than me is watching this and reaches out and just says, dude, I like your theories. I'd like to expand upon them and help you. That's what I would like.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you are that guy or that gal, feel free to reach out. Absolutely, feel free to reach out. Post a comment or
Fucking
shoot us an email. Yeah, shoot us an email, and we'll get you connected.
You want to give them an email, Chris?
Yeah,
We can put it on the site.
yeah,
On the
absolutely.
bottom, it's fine.
Yeah, sure.
That'd be insane.
This is great stuff, Chris.
It's a nice paper. It reads well. It's there's a lot. I put a lot of redundancies in it, but it's because me as a creature, I like to try to explain myself
It's
over and over and over and
yeah.
over. Like picture this, picture this, picture this. It's the same thing. Displacement of water. Just think of displacement of water. That's it.
It's a scientific paper. It's going to be redundant.
It's going to be redundant. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing with military contracts.
Yes.
There's a bunch of redundancies in military contracts.
You think?
I've seen some of the binders that you've put out in front of me in your cave that blew my mind as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. That's
And there were a million redundancies.
Yeah. That's fun.
Which is not That's not hyperbolic at all. Like, that's not an exaggeration. There were,
It's a binder.
yeah, it's pretty much like a million. Yeah,
Big binder of stuff to.
400 pages.
Yeah.
you might be low.
That was
minimum.
That was the first May, June. That was the first few months. So.
I was gonna say, yeah, you
It's
have,
going to be big.
yeah, you have years.
But when you see, and hopefully we follow up announcement on this, we'll be able to put that out there. You'll dig that. I think
Absolutely.
it's really cool.
Here's the other thing too. Like, this is not the last time we're gonna have you.
No,
on
no,
here.
let's go.
You know, like,
Let's
we're
go.
We're gonna need another update on
Yeah.
your follow up of what's going on in here. Absolutely.
Yeah, like I'm not going to speak for Nick on this, but I'm sure we're on the same page here. I'm super excited to see what else comes out of this and how these products evolve.
Yeah.
Because I know you're not done.
I'm not done.
I know you're
there's
not
other
done.
stuff. I have other stuff. It's just not to this level.
Right.
But there's things. Yeah. There's definitely things.
Well, this is kind of prime example.
yeah.
That's
That's a hobby.
Yeah.
That's a hobby.
But that's where this started though, right?
It started as a hobby. Yeah. This
Yeah.
stuff started as a hobby.
So,
Yeah. But this is like a bit, and I do like this stuff. It's very business oriented. It's very good, but it's also going to save lives. This is where I go back to it. This stuff is going to save lives. It's going to save lives, and it's just really like some badass stuff.
it looks great.
It's badass stuff. It's unique. It's you don't see this stuff out there. And then I'm going to take this company, and we're going to build. Yeah, we're going to take it to the moon. Yeah, we're going to go.
It's fucking impossible.
Yeah, this company's going to go where Dogecoin didn't.
Well, I just think it has a very strong branding potential. So
Oh, absolutely.
You know, when you back everything, it's like even the apparel. It's like I want the best powerlifting gear, Tardigrade. I want the best, equipment for ice hockey. It's going to be Tardigrade. That's where it's going to be. That's my mindset. My mindset is to go after all that stuff because all these other companies, nothing against them, but they have very deep pockets, but they're very lazy. And I'll say it all. I'll just say this: there's zero innovation coming back into stuff to actually make things better. They just have a bottom line. They want to see it, and that's it. That's what I see. That's maybe that's not the case, but I think you could take these materials and you could find material science and you could start doing stuff and just make things badass.
Well, you talked about you mentioned Blue Ocean, and we briefly mentioned it.
Yeah.
But a lot of these companies, from what I understand, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of these companies seem to have like tunnel vision.
They have overhead.
Yeah.
They have a. This is what we produce. This is what we paid to produce, and we have to pay all these people to do it.
Right.
So the innovation and the R&D is like 5% or less.
They're kneecapped by that.
They are because they have to sell. They have to sell just to make that bottom line. So it's like we have, 200 employees we have to feed. We're selling this. This is what people want. Just continue to sell it. That's it. So a guy like comes along, and I disrupt that model, and they hate me. They absolutely hate me. They want me to go away. They'll be corporate
They only hate
espionage.
Yeah.
They'll offer to buy you out for like a penny on the dollar type of a thing, and I'm just not interested because it's like I'm going to build my thing. I'm going to run my race, and then we'll see where it goes.
Well, the only reason why they do that is because what you're doing, if they don't buy you out, it forces them to work harder.
Depends, because there's a mindset in companies that they're too big to fail. And if you look at Kodak, it's exactly what happened to them. Somebody came out, Oakley's still strong. But the digital cameras came out with the film, 35 millimeters, great. They were selling a ton of this film. They had film labs and studios. Somebody said, well, I can just do it digitally. And they're like, yeah, go ahead. And now can you find Kodak film anywhere? No. Because the digital age, they could have owned it. Kodak could have owned that digital age had they played their cards right. And you see it over and over again with these companies. They think they're too big to fail. They think they have the market. And then something comes along and just says, get out of my way. I'm coming through.
And that's part of the reason why I love companies like... I like companies that take their time to produce good products, like yourself, like Tardigrade, like Hindsight, because those are two different entities. Right. But they don't have that tunnel vision. They're willing to expand and look at, okay, we haven't touched this. Nobody's touched this. We can look into it. If it doesn't work, we can put a pin in it and we can readdress it later. So if technology comes later on down the line that makes that something that we can do, that makes that a reality, we can go back to it.
Sure.
Like, for instance, What's a great example within the film world that's not too completely out there?
Sound of Freedom.
I mean, yes. Yeah, I was thinking more technology-wise, but
Oh,
yes,
like the-
absolutely.
Yeah, as far as a business philosophy, the Sound of Freedom. As far as technology, the red cameras.
Yep.
The red cameras are phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know, and even the Vericams that came out when they did Star Wars with the Vericams.
Sure.
It was just a different animal. You know?
Absolutely.
But they had all this stuff, and they didn't have to run film. They didn't have to do this stuff, and the movie came out great. That look came out film
Yeah.
appearance wise, and that's what you're seeing now. You're seeing all these. I mean, does anybody shoot on film anymore? I think really they do, but very rarely.
The only time I think film is still used is when people are using the older model Alexa cameras.
Yeah, the Alexa
because those are dual. Those
Right.
are dually. They'll shoot digital and film at the same time. Yeah. It's redundant. Or if a director specifically asks for it, because I believe
some just
Scorsese.
simply do film. I think some still just do film. That's what they know. That's what they're
Right.
That's their world. You know, they didn't want to switch over to this type of stuff, but it's neat. Yeah, you're right. There's this tech, man. It's all tech.
So we're gonna go to break real quick, and we're gonna end right there, but we'll come right back.
Welcome to Backwoods Podcast again. Back from the break. So, you guys fucking blew my fucking mind.
Yes, we did. Woo!
But all right, we can do some fun stuff now.
Yeah.
Let's do some fun stuff.
Yeah.
30 fucking minutes. I'm still mind blown.
I mean,
It's not small stuff. It wasn't small stuff. This
No.
was huge.
It was not small stuff. It's a huge conversation. Hard to follow for people that don't understand. But with that being said, do you have anything else for us?
of course.
Yeah. Let's hear it.
Let's just wrap off some stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah, right.
What do you want to do?
Craziest theory. Craziest theory.
In like Sean Connery's voice or something?
Go for it.
It's like my craziest theory ever. I was playing James Bond one day, and Bill Clinton came by. How you doing there, buddy?
Yeah, and
Listen, hey, no, quiet. Now I'm talking. I got the floor here. So,
all right.
Dr. Doofenshmirtz,
Ready.
I can destroy the planet, yes.
The platypus.
Yeah,
Donald
that's
Trump
right.
Go. Donald Trump go.
Donald Trump goes, huge.
Huge. Listen to me. Nobody has nuclear weapons like I have.
That's right.
Okay. We have the biggest and the best nuclear weapons.
Fuck.
They're the best.
Right.
Rashida Tlaib. Don't like her.
Not a fan.
Not a fan.
Not a fan.
Get her out.
Can you do any
AOC.
impersonations, Nick?
Biden go.
Biden?
Yeah.
That's the best one. That's the best one. So that's most accurate. Oh, I just pooped my pants.
Yeah, poopy.
That's it. That's all I got.
You don't have anything? You can't do anything? Try. Try.
Fucking no one.
Try.
Do it.
Oh.
Give it. You can do it.
No, but you can.
You're an actor. You got it.
your
So let's go.
brother-
Let's rumble. Let's do
Your
it.
brother's got the best impression for the Animal Planet guy.
Oh yeah.
How about you? Let's hear it.
Which guy?
I fucking wish he was here.
A most vile creature, the likes the world has never seen before, with talons that scrape the earth and rake the soil, teeth that rip flesh from bone.
I can't. Fucking brother is the king.
Yeah. He's
It's like the guy for the
king.
yeah.
one bite of this creature is going to end my life.
Crikey,
Yeah.
looky there!
Yeah.
There's a gator. Come on, do it. Mouth, get it shut. Hell, it can open its jaw, 5 pounds of force. Hell, but it can close it at 445,000 newtons of force. Hell. Give me a cigar.
Classic. He's classic.
When you first started in law enforcement,
Right.
what is the most exotic story you got? First started, first year, that you can talk about.
What do you mean exotic?
It's just fucking out of this world. Got nothing.
I have everything recorded, though. I have it all. I just got to go at some point back through it all and highlight the good stuff.
It's over there. It's not over here. It's over there.
It's like trying to get one log through a log of river, like a river clogged with logs.
And it's fucking tough.
It's just like
I'm a curious cat.
it stops. Like I said, people ask you that, and like 20 plus years of law enforcement, you're like, you've got 1,000 stories, and you know when they come out is when somebody comes up to you and says, "Hey, McKenna, dude, remember that time?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah, I wish I didn't.
And then you start rapping with these, because you get around a bunch of cops and the stories are just to die for.
Right.
But it's hard because I have no catalyst to spur up a story or a memory on
Did
something.
anybody ever poop themselves?
Oh yeah, all the time. Well, not all the time, but yeah, they did. I mean, not us, but suspects and stuff. Yeah, you'd arrest people.
You never
Yeah,
pooped
definitely.
yourself?
Hmm?
You never pooped.
No, God, no. Jeez, man.
That's encouraging. That's encouraging to know that our local PD does not poop themselves. Although I bet you were puckering pretty hard when you were doing that Martin's run.
Yeah, they just sucked because it was just
There
exhausting.
was just two of you.
Two, and it was just exhausting because it's like I said, there's a corner every 10 feet.
Yeah.
Every 10 feet is a corner, so it's like, ooh, it's just so exhausting to get through it.
Hindsight, baby.
Yeah, it would have worked. Would have been great. Yeah. Yes, sir.
We have it now. We have the
We have a
technology.
tool. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Jeez, man.
Oh, Jimmy, you've done such a good job. Good job, Jimmy. You broke it. Well done, Jimmy. You done messed up.
Fuck.
You just attach it to a pallet.
Hey, it's a good fucking
That
palate,
nail,
man.
yeah.
This is a
Look,
Yeah, it's a good thing I got a tetanus shot.
shitting on my
Damn.
palate. Shitting on my palate.
Yeah.
Everything's
a
fucking
good palate.
homemade. Look, I'm the best carpenter you've ever seen. Clay, back me up. Back me up.
yes.
Fuck.
He's a very good
Fuck.
carpenter.
Fuck you.
I've never heard him invent curse words because he ran out of curse words to use while he was trying to put something together. Especially not his stairs that
Right.
went into the shop
Oh,
downstairs.
Yes.
Because he definitely didn't do that.
Like I said, I'm a mechanical guy. So when we go back to carpentry, we're in the garage making this table,
This is a great story.
and he's like, "We should do it this way." And I'm like, "Fuck it." I'm just throwing nails and throwing screws together, and this is how the table turns.
Yeah, he looks at me and he goes, "Why are you using new nails? We can just reuse these nails." And every single one of these nails, Chris.
Go fuck yourself. Go.
Let me tell you, buddy. Let me tell you, buddy. I've seen crackheads that were prettier than some of the nails that we put back into this thing.
Look at that one right there.
And I did time I spent time in Washington D.C. as a tour guide in Washington D.C.
Right.
And that's A1. That's top tier
Certifiable
intelligence.
table.
Look,
Certifiable
it's just
table.
to get us fucking started. You guys are shitting on the
No,
table.
dude, I
Shit
love
on
this.
the table.
Are you kidding me? This was my idea.
It's iconic.
This table was my idea.
It was, but
Maybe a little varnish or something. A little varnish on it.
We'll have to get
Yeah.
some of those suspects that poop themselves and just rub their butts on
like
it.
I said, I'm not a carpenter.
Crazy.
We still have the stamps on it. I don't know. I think it's HHP. I'm pretty sure.
It's got to be.
It came from RCT, so whatever pallets they use.
Good. Hey, Chris.
Maybe.
Take a fucking whisk off that flask.
What is it?
Go ahead. Try it.
Yeah, give her.
If it's
Give her-
moonshine, I'm going to be...
So
your
this
dad's
flask
fucking
came
moonshine.
from Alaska when I went fly fishing up there with a good buddy. And I filled it up with some special concoction.
Yeah, it's moonshine. I'll probably run a fucking General Lee.
Go ahead. Take a look at that.
Yeah, I'm good. It smells like diesel fuel.
No, go ahead. Try it.
Oh, yeah, no, that's your dad's shit,
Try
man.
it.
That's all right. I'm good with that. Yeah. I'm good with that.
That's your dad's shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. This downstairs, the stairwell, obviously.
Did you break it? You did, didn't you?
Several times.
Yeah, get all mad at it. Like,
So I went to Home Depot and I grabbed
First mistake.
Fucking A, Clay. So I went to Home Depot and I grabbed this,
America.
like, this, whatever you want to call it, this stairwell foreman. Fucking A.
They were
They
cutouts.
There were cutouts for stairwells, and they were damaged, so they're half off. And I looked at Clay and I go, "We only need 3 steps. What the fuck is the matter?" And we grab them, and they were fucking half off. And I get to the house, and we're screwing them together, and I find out why the fuck they're half off. Every time I screw into this motherfucker, they would split apart. And they would just not hold. And I'm looking at Clay, and I'm inventing these swear words that have never been spoken.
Try one.
I don't know if I should do it. Clay, go ahead.
Yep, go for it.
Just these awful swear words. And Clay goes, I literally set everything down. Clay goes, just take a break, Nick.
Walk away.
Just walk away. And again, I'm not a carpenter. I'm just doing everything based off YouTube. Make the fuck fun of me. I don't give a shit. I work with metal and things that are already formed together.
Right. This stuff is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a carpenter. I can't
So-
do it.
So don't make fun of my nails.
So Chris,
I think I can pull it out with my finger.
when we were building the stairs downstairs, I was like, "Hey Nick, we should pre-drill out these holes." And he looks at me and he goes, "No," and starts driving it with an impact.
And it cracked.
Yeah, and it split. And I was like, "Nick."
Next time.
No, and I look to you and I go, "Shut the fuck up."
Yeah, yeah. As it splits, he goes.
Yeah.
But it was pressure treated, so my knowledge on pressure treated, I was like, "Oh, okay, it's treated." Let's
It
just
should have
set-
held up, but
It should hold
it
up.
didn't.
It's tough. No, it's split apart. So
Alright.
that's the knowledge on that. Go ahead, take a lick off that.
I dare you. That's nasty.
So that stuff is 100.
Careful though, it might light on fire.
No, it really does. So not to get too into
You don't need to
it.
drink it. You just have to sniff it.
Not to get too into it. But
I'm gonna do it.
Do it.
I'm gonna put it in my mouth hole.
when I went to a party and we were all 21. We're all 21. And I gave it to a kid, and he was coming off of a drunk, and he was buzzed, and he put it on the inside of his lip, and he goes from, hold on, be careful, don't do it yet. He goes from coming off a drunk into buzz to putting that on, just dipping it on his finger, putting it on the inside of his lip to drunk again within 5 minutes. So be mindful when you take that. It's 198 proof moonshine.
So in other words, it's like pretty much 100% alcohol.
Burn your mouth.
You got a lighter?
I know it'll light on fire. It's disgusting.
You literally pour it on the table.
Like I said, they run the General Lee of that shit.
Fucking A, you jump a car.
That's
with
right.
that
They did
shit.
run shine. That's
So go ahead, Clay.
Okay.
Just be mindful.
right.
Be mindful.
You'll be all right.
Oh,
His face
his face turned cold.
goes to white.
Yeah, it's not subtle.
It's not subtle at all.
Brutal.
So let me tell you this: that flask I brought to
Alaska.
not only Alaska, but I brought to probably 6 or 7 parties, and that's the same fluid.
I'm
that
sure it
was
is.
in it.
So you know how many lips have been on that? You just touched?
No. We
Of
poured
course,
it.
it's sanitized because it's fucking General Lee fuel.
Right.
So-
Yeah.
We poured it in a flask. You're actually the first person to put your lips on it.
I'm touched that I was the first person to do that.
Yeah, you're warm and fuzzy feeling because you drank it, not because you fucking touched.
I smelled it.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel
How
like
is it?
I feel
It's
like if I'm
fucking
within
gross.
5 yards of an open flame, I might like internally combust.
So,
probably
so,
will.
so
Yeah.
with that being said, that's supposed to be apple cinnamon.
It's supposed to be what?
That's not.
No.
That is not,
It's like carburetor fluid.
dude.
It's
So
bad.
I know what automatic transmission fluid tastes like. Do not ask me why. Do not ask me why I know what automatic.
Curious and
That's worse. That's worse.
So
Curious.
I don't know about fucking
I know what automatic transmission fluid tastes like, and I know what
I think that's worse.
5W30 tastes like.
Yeah.
And it tastes like an odd love child between the two of them.
Oh, I love Joe.
And then and it burns.
And that's why that's still in that flat. It's the same shit.
It's
5 years later.
Yep.
Because not a very large amount of people want to try it after they sniff it. Go ahead, Chris.
wow.
Whoa,
It's coming back up.
Oh, look. It's green.
Fucking
Fuck,
dude.
man,
Get the
dude.
fuck over there, dude.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Seriously, don't. I'll be a fire breather.
Burning a hole in your stomach right now.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna
See some green
probably
shit.
gonna get a
coming out of
cyst.
it. Yeah. Yeah. You be careful of those. A freaky thing.
Not to change the topic, but out of all of the guns that you would like to try, what's the one that you would like to just... If there was one that you could try, doesn't matter what the fuck it is, which one would you want to shoot?
Just to shoot it up and try it. G11.
Fuck yeah.
HK.
The non-neutered one.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the one with
Like I said,
caseless ammo.
just like I said, full original. Doesn't matter what.
Either that or an M130, like a minigun.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be like Mac from
Mine
Predator.
would, you know what mine would be? I bet you could guess. I gave you one guess.
What? Guess what gun you'd want to shoot?
If you don't guess this, I'll be disappointed.
A fully automatic Chris Vector.
Fuck you. You got it. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. If you got a fully automatic Chris Vector,
Bring it by the shop.
bring it by the shop.
Nick
You
wants to
want to see
shoot it.
that recoil is legit.
It's that
Goes
It's into the handle, right? It reciprocates down.
Yes.
Yeah.
slaps.
Yes.
So it keeps it level.
Yeah.
Supposedly. I don't know. I've never shot a fully automatic one.
That's bonkers.
Just my semi-automatic one.
It's the So they say between the P90 and the Chris Vector, they're neck and neck.
Tempo. Yeah.
They're neck and neck.
Oh, in terms of
Full auto.
Like
The
keeping
amount
it
of-
keeping it on target. You know, within a reasonable.
there's
window.
no creep or limited
I
creep.
honestly think a 3-round burst on that Chris Vector would be mint.
Just not a fan of 3-round burst.
Well, 3 bullets hitting this general same vicinity. That's
3 bullets.
Personal preference.
Yeah,
I'm
drei.
a huge fan of you.
3.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
9.
9.
9 Zane.
What's the coolest gun
Zen.
you have?
Coolest gun I have is probably a 1959 Polish RPD.
I looked at it. I got to hold it. I needed a fresh pair of shorts after that.
At some point in your life, do you think you would want to turn that to fully automatic?
Too expensive. I don't know. I'm not flashy about stuff. So,
Remove the money problem.
Do you
yeah. I'd never shoot it like that. I don't know.
do you think
I
that
don't know.
the RPD is cooler than your PPSH?
No, because the PPSH is like a true piece of history. That is coming off the Leningrad line as a it's just parts, but so what? There's like rich history to that gun. It's a World War II gun. It was made during that invasion, Leningrad. I mean, they were pumping them out and throwing them out the door, fighting with them just as they were creeping up on them.
Just fucking
It's fucking
stamp
amazing.
sheet.
So yeah, it's a sheet metal stamp.
Yeah.
All ripped to shit and torn apart, but it's in a shadow box and it's just got history. That thing's awesome.
It glows.
It does.
So I did notice that you had a collection of swords. What's your not your best sword, but
The one that speaks the most to you.
yeah.
Probably El Cid.
Does it have history to
Yeah,
it?
no, that one doesn't. It's just a replica of El Cid. But all those swords are replicas.
Replicas.
Yeah, there's a Gladiator and Conan, but they're real. They're just replicas. They're real replicas. So they're real metal. They're real shot. You could sharpen them, do all that stuff. They're just replicas of the units.
How many swords do you have?
Oh, Jesus. 20 or so.
20.
Yeah, about 20.
Would you get another one?
Oh, yeah. I'd collect them. I want to get a suit of armor. That's what I want to get.
Pseudo armor.
Yeah, definitely. Like an old Templar's Knight suit of armor.
What?
Yeah, it
what-
just looks awesome.
like a authentic?
Well, not authentic, but just the real deal. So like the real like 18 gauge steel,
Yeah.
you know, full
Go to-
fucking get up gauntlets.
Go to a modern day smith
Yeah.
and have them
Either that or
you
just
one up.
buy one. You know, get one made up that it's
That
all
you could
done.
legitly put on.
Yeah, you could put it on a skeleton and display it, but you could actually wear the damn thing and it would just be
Yeah.
cool.
That'd be so
Not
cool.
that I'm like a LARPer or anything, but I mean,
Even that would be awesome.
LARPing.
LARPing with armor? Yeah,
Well, yeah.
dude, that'd be awesome.
real
Are you
armor.
kidding me?
Where's Guinevere?
Come on, look at my pike. now.
What's your favorite medieval movie?
King Arthur with Sean Connery.
Good one. Good one. Yeah.
That was awesome.
Mine's medieval. I don't necessarily know Timeline is probably one of my favorites because
What's the movie with it has to do with the Spartans?
Oh,
300.
Is it literally called 300?
Yeah, the 300.
Yeah, it's with Gerard Butler, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you
That was
think
awesome.
about that?
That's an awesome movie.
Awesome movie.
Yeah, like they did the colors right. They
Would
did
you?
this like cool color scheme to it. And it,
They shot that with 2 cameras, right? That way they could mess with the perspective. They could switch between the 2 of them.
yeah, they did some forced perspective on it, and they also did frame rate. Like Gladiator did the same thing. They did a different. So when you see like the whips of Gladiator hitting the sand, and it pops up and stuff, that's like 15 frames a second. So they do some tricks.
Who else did that? He was a famous director.
Ridley Scott.
Well, yeah, Ridley Scott did it, but he was a martial arts director, very famous martial arts director. He filmed in 12 frames per second.
Steven Seagal.
No. Why do I want to say Woo?
John Woo.
No, it wasn't. Damn. I can't remember, but he filmed in 12 in order to cheat a lot of stuff.
Yeah, get that.
He got a lot.
effect fast.
Yeah,
Real.
What is
Jackie Chan worked with him a lot.
just I'm curious. American Sniper or Lone Survivor?
Lone Survivor.
Lone Survivor. I'm on the same spectrum.
As far as the movies,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I actually watched that movie downstairs in the cave with one of the guys who was in that movie. So,
What?
Lone Survivor.
Yeah, the only survivor.
No, I watched it downstairs with there was a guy that was into the stunts.
Oh,
Did all
he
the
was a
stunts.
stunt guy. He wasn't a survivor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jeez.
How
fun,
big?
though.
How big's your projection screen downstairs?
150
150.
inches
Gotcha.
diagonally.
Sorry, buddy. You don't have the facilities for that.
Damn it. Damn it.
It's fun. Dolby Atmos 7
Hey.
surround. It's good stuff.
It doesn't always have to be bigger. Sometimes it just has to be better.
Functionality.
Yeah. Okay.
Application.
We'll let you believe that.
Yeah.
How's
absolutely.
playing Battlefield on that?
It's awesome.
Do you
Immersive.
What's your favorite game?
Battlefield 2042. It's awesome.
Do you play
fun.
any Modern Warfare on it?
No, but I'm going to be playing Starfield when that comes out. I'm going to grab that.
I've got some friends that are playing it.
Yeah. Oh, right now?
Yeah, they got the demo.
Oh,
Yeah.
What console?
They got their
do you
hands on the
play
demo.
it's just an Xbox or a PC. Yeah.
Yep.
But it's like a Bethesda game that, like Fallout, Skyrim, it's out there.
Yeah.
It's space travel. To me, that's just awesome.
I have a question for you.
Star Citizen.
Are you into Baldur's Gate at all?
Oh, yeah.
Fuck, you guys are nerding out on me
Yeah, we are.
hard.
What's wrong with Baldur's Gate? That was awesome.
He has absolutely no idea what we're talking about right
It's an
now.
old
Nothing.
school, dude.
Nothing.
Old,
So
well, they
again-
got the newer games that
Again.
came with it, but
3 just came out.
I played it back like in the DOS days.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I'm and then the Bard's Tale, same thing.
Yeah.
Again, I am the mechanic side of things. You guys are like the movie.
So this is This is Dungeons and Dragons. So remember when we had this conversation? Remember when we had this conversation? Nick, he looks at me and he goes, "Why is that entertaining to you?"
Dungeons and
Yeah. Basically, that was his reaction. And he goes, "Dude, how the hell do you find that entertaining?" And I was like, "Dude, being able to step into the shoes of somebody that you've fabricated.
Oh, yeah.
And you get to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Like that's
Fucking role play, bitch.
yeah,
It is.
exactly.
It is.
And he's like, and I was like, dude,
I want to live the real thing. Okay.
yeah, and that's fine. That's fine. That's not why Dungeons and Dragons exist.
I'm not shitting on you two. That's not what I'm doing.
Yeah,
I want.
We'll play Dungeons and Dragons. He can sit and play with his guns.
Or we could come up with a new game that's Dungeons and Dragons with guns.
Fuck yeah.
Like road
Minecraft.
no, there's a
Stop.
Road War 2000 or something.
Rogue War 2000.
Road War.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get dirty vehicles. We got to find diesel for them.
Coming to a tabletop near you.
It's actually a real game.
Hey,
It's a real game.
I'm not playing unless you have that nuclear powered car.
Oh, the varmint. Yeah, that's
So
sweet.
yeah, so we'll just turn it into like a Warhammer 40K kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. And he still has no idea what we're talking about.
Nope.
No, I don't, because you guys are just nerding the fuck out right now, which is
alright.
perfect.
Yeah.
You guys, which is perfect.
Necrons or orcs?
I'm the mechanical side of things. Like, I'm the physical aspect of things. That's where I'm in.
I grew
like
up
if,
with it.
like this right here.
Man, I grew up with it all.
Like if it's there, I like it. Like I want to pick it apart if it's right in front of me.
So you like tangible things.
Yeah, like I like physical
You know,
items.
like Duke Nukem. You know,
Yeah.
Duke Nukem.
I'm not a movie
I'm
guy.
here to chew bubblegum
right.
and kick ass.
And I'm all out of bubba gum.
It's time to kick ass and chew bubble gum.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
That's good stuff right there.
Yeah.
Duke Nukem.
Forever.
What about Mortal Kombat? You know?
Mortal Kombat.
I've
into
heard of
that?
it.
I've heard of it.
I just
Man,
know.
I was like the king of that shit. I would like, it didn't matter. He's like, who you paying? Oh, Sindel, you're done. Fucking, I'd kill you. You know, so you pick any character, I'm gonna die.
This
You're gonna
pisses
die.
me off. Okay.
Fatality.
This pisses me off. So we
Finish him.
me and a friend of mine. I'm not gonna direct him out like that, but we'll be fucking playing like some Mario Kart shit with one other person. And I'll fucking lose every fucking time. And he's be like, I'm the king of games. I'm the king of games. And I'm sitting there like the first time I've ever played, like fucking trying to figure it out. Finger it out.
Talking about his mom?
No, not at all. Mom's a very nice lady. And he's like, just spam button. Just spam button.
this is
Like Mortal Kombat is just spam button.
It kind of,
Like,
no, you know
why
what it
the
is?
fuck am I even doing this?
Kinda
Like, I
it's kind
want.
of like chess,
Yeah.
but in a way.
No,
Yeah,
there's strategy to it.
I'm gonna argue with that.
And let me tell you why. No,
I'm gonna
because I
argue
do
with
want to
that.
make a game that you're talking about. But what Mortal Kombat is like, I hit you, you can't respond till it's over. So that's like chess. Okay?
Chess,
But what I want is a
yes.
game where I just hit buttons and the guy just starts swinging and you can punch his hands or punch his face. It doesn't matter. They need a game like that. It's like
I don't.
not the pause. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like Mortal Kombat, you sweep
Yeah.
a guy, you can't do anything till your guy stands up and resets.
Right.
You know?
The
All right,
thing
30
about-
seconds. 30 seconds to rebuttal that.
Rebuttal.
Go.
Just Mortal Kombat's not chess.
It's okay. All right.
That's it. That's it. That's all I got.
All right.
It's chess.
It is. There's strategy. There's strategy involved. You just have to be skilled enough in order to apply it.
There is strategy involved in
Correct.
in Mortal Kombat, but I feel like chess is like you set a piece
Correct.
and then it's like
What's your elu in chess?
I'm not very good in chess either. Fucking damn, you got me. You got me.
I'm like 2,400.
Go
joking.
Go
Joking.
get me a chess.
joking.
All right. Go
All
get
right.
me a chess.
No,
board.
I'm joking.
This is your
All right.
pond. This is my pond.
Gentlemen,
We're done now.
I think this is a great place to end.
Yep.
Nick sucks at chess,
I do.
and Chris thinks about things that nobody else thinks about.
Chris, we really do appreciate you.
We
coming on.
Love it.
We
Good
do.
stuff. Let's go.
We do.
Let's do it.
Absolutely.
Keep going.
So
I want to be back on when you have other guests.
absolutely.
So we plan on getting a fourth mic set up.
Yep.
And then when that happens, we plan on having 4 people come on, and
Friggin'
we're
right.
more than happy to get you back on. here.
Absolutely.
Let's go. We'll have fun.
Pick other brains other than fucking mine.
Yeah.
you know.
And with that being said, thank you to everyone who came. We appreciate you checking this out. More to come. So stick around, see what comes next. Chris, thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate your time. We appreciate all your products, and we look forward to seeing you again.
Awesome.
All right. Backwoods podcast out. See you later, people.